Y'all seen 2001 Space Odyssey?
Oh, yeah.
The music is playing in my head right now as he started the broadcaster.
Nice.
Epic.
You know, I actually don't know if I've seen it. It's a real shame if I haven't seen it, because it's like a classic.
That's a shame, Al. That is a shame.
All right, let's move over to this and play some music. What have we been using for a theme song for you guys?
You asked that last week and we didn't know.
Yeah.
Or
we'll
2 weeks ago and we didn't know.
Yeah, we'll go at Crossing the Chasm. That sounds pretty good.
There we go.
Oh, no, East of Tunisia. That's one of my favorite ones. There we go. All right, so welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is the Scholars, episode 13 of their campaign. Wow, you guys are so far along. Okay, yeah, that just took me a second to rationalize. Episode 13 of their campaign. We are in book 3 of the campaign, Saga 1 of book 3. If you are just joining us for the first time tonight, we are playing Dungeons & Dragons. It is a role-playing game, and everything you're going to see tonight is live storytelling. Nothing you're going to see is scripted. We're playing in a homebrewed world. It is the cool world of Ilderon. You can Google search that right there and find out more about the setting. It's a really cool setting that we have created. I'm pretty sure we top Google results now, and penultimately, if you're under the age of 14 and you're watching tonight, consult your parents because you're going to see content that's not appropriate for you. And if you're typing in the YouTube channel, I don't read the YouTube live feed while I am dungeon mastering. Please join the Discord and type in the live discussion or the live campaign channel. It's this channel right here. The Discord link is in the description of this video. Make my life easier, and I believe that is everything that I need to go over at the top of the show. Think. Sure, if I forgot something, it's probably irrelevant. Let's jump into the... Oh, before we get started, we have a whole party tonight, minus Annie, whose character is Lex. I will be controlling Lex for this session. And with that, we will jump into the recap. Last session started off on the 24th of Noble? The 27th of Noble. 27th of Noble. And the party was inside of the city of Misthaven, trying to find passage across the lake. I believe the lake's name was Ziwatecas. Ziwatecas? Yeah, who came up with these names anyways? It was me.
It was great.
Anyways, though, the party was trying to find passage across the lake, and no boats were going out into the lake as the people of the Low Lakes were trying to summon the Ascendancy Trial, the Trial of the Waves, which involved somebody going out into the lake and taming a massive fish. The fish was known as Talakan and said to be a eldritch spirit of this region. However, the party was able to find 2 people going out into the lake, each of them trying to complete the Ascendancy Trial and tame Talakan themselves. Ultimately, they decided to go with a aspirant by the name of Anzov Raziladir, and he was a outsider of this culture. But the way Ascendancy Trials worked, anybody who completes them gets to be the leader, or gets to be the Ascitar of this tribe. And so he was here trying his best to go out and claim his destiny. Anzov had a ragtag crew of people willing to help him, as he had the biggest boat and offered the most safety for going across the lake. The party agreed to help if things got haywire. In exchange, he would give them safe passage across the lake. the boat was pulled into, as the party set out, the boat was pulled by currents and forces unknown into the center of the lake, and a ethereal mist started to come off of the waters as the party slowly sailed into a cloud of the unknown. The people on deck got scared and asked for Anzov to take them back immediately and to continue their original plan to cross the lake and go to Ziwatecas. After a bit of convincing, Anzov eventually conceded and turned the boat out of the mist and towards Ziwatecas. From there, as the party was exiting the mist, they started to see strange visions that revealed themselves as truths that they had never known. Were one by one revealed to every other member of the party. Not everybody. Mechanically, not everybody failed that wisdom saving throw. So from there, the party went, or rather, the party saw the different visions. Azure saw his former lover. Lex saw their former captor. Brahm saw his former siblings. And Kaya, Inazaya, and Wilbert and Nyoka were on phase. And where's my Nyoka card? Here it is. Alright. Moving from there, the party sailed the rest of the day and arrived on the 28th of Noble and to the town of Ziwatecas. Anzov wasn't going to dock the boat. He had the party get off and he rowed them into town. Ziwatecas is a small settlement built around the crumbling ruins of massive statues on the other side of the lake. Exploring through Ziwatecas, the party found out that the Shield Hand has a presence here, as they are noticing her hired mercenaries around the town. They are also noticing that she is coordinating with the forces of the Crown that are in town. The Crown being the bandit lords who run the outskirts of the Clutch. In addition to that, they noticed that the town is not very active, as there were a lot of refugees already inside of Misthaven, and that a lot of people have fled this town. Doing a little bit more investigation, the party split, and let me get my splits correctly. I want to set those up now. Lex and Nyoka went off to explore the residences of the town. Azure and Wilbert went off to talk to the locals who are remaining in town, and they found a tavern to do so. I think it was called the Coiled Serpent. I'll have to look at it, what its name was exactly. And Kaya, Bram, and Inazaya went to the Abbey on the other side of the lake, or on the other side of the bay. And from there, what we were able to cover last session, Nyoka and Lex noticed that people were running out of their residences, not taking all of their possessions or taking many things, and oftentimes there being scenes of a skirmish or a fight here. Azure and Wilbert found out that the Shield Hand has been buying supplies from the town, and there is a murderer on the loose who has been killing people like wildfire in the town, and it has disrupted all aspects of life inside of Ziwatecas. They're only here to loot a nearby vault that has been a vault of kayak goods that have been opened up in the past couple days, and the opening of the vault coincides with also the appearance of the murderer. Ziwatecas is not a very pleasant place to be right now. There's not a lot of food, there's not a lot of stability, there's not a lot of friendliness, And I believe that's where we left off with... And I think we were going to start with the party that was heading to the Abbey. Did I miss anything important? And am I correct in the assessment of like how I broke down the groups?
Well, there was a bit of singing and things that happened in the bar, but that's not important.
Okay.
I thought Kai's group was going to a marketplace to check things out rather than the Abbey, but Abbey's
yes,
fine, I don't mind.
that's it. That's it. I was thinking. I'm looking at the recap notes right now, and I'm seeing them like Kaya, Fram, and Inaziah are still out shopping. So Azure and Wilbert, I think, went to the monastery or the Abbey across the bay after they left the tavern. So we'll come back to them then, and we'll handle the group that's shopping. Is that fair for everybody?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, cool beans. Let me move us all to Ziwatecas. Oh, we are in Ziwatecas. All right, so do I need anything else for Ziwatecas? I probably need my notes, and it is the Blue Serpent Tavern, which is that tavern built into that fallen head of the statue that Wilbert and Azure were drinking at, by the way. I like to name my towns and stuff in the world. I like to name it like with districts and stuff. But I figure like this is such a wild and different area of the town that, I would come up with something new for breaking down how this town is laid out. But I'm a creature of habit, and I didn't do that. So for this, I'm going to loosely explain things where they are as it becomes relevant. So for my notes, these aren't actually. That's cool, guy. Thanks. These aren't actually the names of the different areas in town, but I'm going to put Head Town, which is all of the areas around the fallen head inside of town. I'm going to put the lake docks, which are the areas around the lake docks because it's relevant. The residential rows, which are all of those rows around the crumble, are the rubble that has fallen that people have built living areas in. And then I'm going to put across the bay, which is where the Abbey is, and the small couple people who live outside of there. I will come up with a better layout for this town in the future, but I'm just taking that down for my notes. And in Head Town is the Blue Serpent Inn, or Blue Serpent Tavern. Alright, and a market for this place. I feel like trading with Misthaven would be like the main, like one of the main areas of commerce for everybody bringing everything into town. Or everybody who brings everything into town would take it eventually to Misthaven, so I feel like the market would be centered around the lake docks. And not too far off from there. So let's roll and see how active this market is today. Oof. So, great news for Kaya, Brahm, and Inaziah. There are plenty of stalls and spaces for you to set up if you want to sell something today out here. There is a D4 of vendors currently in the market peddling stuff, and I'm gonna roll that right now. Yeah, so where you would expect this to be a bustling, like little lakeside market just off of the docks, people selling stuff to go into Misthaven, which is a pretty big city for the Misiendar, a pretty big city in retrospect to how tribes move around the Low Lakes. Where you might expect like 20 to 30 people to have different stalls and areas set up to peddle wolf goods, carts brought in, tarps set up with all of their stuff laid out on carpets and things. There are only 3 people here selling stuff. And I'm going to roll a percentage of how valuable their goods are.
Basically, there's no market, really.
Yeah, there's no market whatsoever.
It's just dead.
Yeah. There's 3 people selling things, and one of them's going to be sitting down. One of them, I think one of them will be sitting down, tending to a set of tools. Another one, I'm gonna rule that they are a food vendor, and it looks like they're mostly sold out. Probably what's left of their stock isn't in the highest condition. And give my brain time to think of what the third person might be doing. There was a table I needed to bring up.
This place looks dead.
Very much so. If this is their market. Do we see anyone even going around shopping, or is it just the 3 people trying to sell shit
to nobody?
Yeah. They just sit there waiting for someone to walk past.
You know what? I'm gonna roll. There is one basket of like fresh produce. Like there's other food at this food stall, but there's like one basket of like fresh produce of like it's vibrant green and red vegetables you can see stocked up here, and there are 2 men probably just slapping each other, punching at each other's shoulder, going back and forth, shoving each other, just like, no, I want it, and one puts the other in a headlock. The merchant's kind of just like watching this, seeing who's gonna come out on top.
Brom looks at Anazai and says, I got 1 gold on the guy on the left, and it doesn't matter what he is. I'll put a gold on the guy in the headlock.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, the guy on the left is the one getting headlocked as he is struggling.
I don't know. Sure, why not?
Alright, if you guys sit and watch this, I just rolled them I rolled them attack rolls at each other just to see who turns out on top. Guy on the left gets a nat 20. He's gonna slip out of this headlock and just kind of like one of those reversals of like the guy is behind him and he puts his arms on his shoulder, slips his head down and just throws this guy over him flat onto his back. Yeah, at which point the merchant's going to move the food aside and push it forward, and say, that'll be 6 silver. The man lets go of the other one's arm, slaps the coin on the table, or on the stand, and he's going to carry off his basket, bringing a piece of produce to his mouth, biting into it, and you can see the savory juices of it just roll down his face. The guy on the floor is gonna look up with longing, I guess that would be jealousy. No, envy. Yeah, desire. There we go. We'll go with that. It's fungus for him tonight.
Yeah.
Kai wants to walk over to the other shop.
Right. As I hand you the gold, I'd say, I was half expecting you to go in and just take the basket.
No, I just wanted to see the guys fight.
Fair enough.
I was hoping for a little more than that, but...
Alright.
Yeah, it was rather short-lived.
Kayeth is going to go over to the third merchant.
Tool one.
Oh, the tool one. Okay, cool.
Well, the one that looks the most educated or sophisticated or whatnot. Who's selling the most expensive stuff?
Okay, the tool one, when you go over to that merchant, you are going to see that they have about a half dozen set of different tools and devices here. Each one of these gleams and are made with different types of metals. The woman selling these, she's going to look up and at Kayeth as he comes by and say, fancy yourself a bit of an adventurer? I can give you some tools that might make the crafts a little bit easier.
What sort of merchandise do you stock?
She's going to gesture to the things that she has out and display them to Kaya. For mechanical purposes, Kaya, they are 6 different types of artisan's tools that are available. However, each one of them is made out of a different material, or is magical in some way. Some of them gleam, some of them you can see the nubs and tips of which are made out of like adamantine, etc., etc., etc.
Fine craftsmanship.
I'm going to say there is definitely Thieves Tools here because she would be selling those to people going down into the dungeon. I am also going to say cook's utensils are here because people venturing out that far would need those. And the rest I think I'm just going to roll on. So that's 2 out of the 4. I'm going to say she's got... I should be writing these down because I'm going to forget. Give me a second. She's going to have the Thieves Tools, I forgot what I said. Cook's Tools, and then I just rolled, and she is going to have Smith's Tools, and then I'm going to roll again before that. So, Thieves, Cooks, Smith. Alright, I feel like it is pretty viable for her to have masonry tools going down into an old vault. She will have masonry tools. And we've got 2 more to go. Not very likely that she has alchemy tools. She does have alchemy supplies. And the final set that she has. Let's say painter's supplies. If you go down into these crypts, you'll need painting. Nope, she doesn't have painter's supplies. Let's go with weaver's tools. There are tapestries down there. If you go down there, you need to restore them. She does have weaver's tools. Alright, so the 6 sets that she has, all of these are altered in some way than normal tools. There are thieves' tools, cook's tools, smithing tools, masonry tools, alchemist tools, and weaver's tools. And they would, again, as to what those tools are based in the player's handbook, they're the artisan sets, just after the gear. And I can give you the page number if you want, but then all of them have little tiny differences to them.
Why is the market so quiet here? Seems quite strange. I thought this was more of a bustling port.
She's gonna speak up and say, "Oh yeah, well, you see, there's a murderer that's been flying through town. If you're not with the crown, then the crown that's here might be pretty unpleasant to you too." That said, pretty much everybody that's here is an opportunist. Say that one more time for me.
I can understand being lots of opportunists here. Has the crown presence always been this large?
She's going to think and say, I was visiting Misthaven myself, but when I heard about what was going down here in Ziwatecas, I've only been in town for about 2 weeks, but from my understanding, I normally don't venture this far north. Real hard to make it through the bog.
What do you know of this bog?
Warforged don't take too kindly to people traveling through their lands. They tried an ascendancy trial a couple years ago. Worked out pretty poorly for them. Ever since then, they've been kind of dishonored. Keep to themselves, though. Nobody messes with them.
The Warforged tried an ascendancy trial.
She's gonna roll a history check. She's gonna nod and say, "Don't know much about it. They, after Heimsdale was done with them, they went wandering all over the place." She'll roll a percentage die. Has she had any bad run-ins with the Warforged? Yes. When she says that statement, her face sours a little bit.
Are there any Warforged in town or nearby? Or are they all down in the bog?
She's gonna think and say, I haven't seen one inside of Ziwatecas or Misthaven since I've been here. They pretty much keep to themselves. Pretty rare if you see a Warforged much of anywhere.
And so you said you arrived here 2 weeks ago. Was this murder on the loose then, or did this happen since you arrived?
She's gonna think on that and say, no, this has to be a weekly thing. I mean, there are always people. There are always people getting got in this region, but the stories of the Cape, that only just started.
Stories of the Cape.
And she's gonna nod and say, "Oh yeah, that's what they call them. Last thing you see is a consuming cape swishing by you. Sometimes people get tangled up in it, and the next thing you know, you're fighting. There's muffled screams. Very few get away. Those that do don't come back looking for trouble."
Is there any reward for this murder by any chance?
She laughs and says, "Who'd pay a reward?"
Fair call. Last question. We had some friends who were sort of heading off for a bit of, hunting for opportunity down south a few weeks back. It's some kind of artifact or something they're looking for. They wouldn't have perchance come and shopped with you, would they?
She's gonna shake her head and say, "Honestly, I don't keep up with who buys my goods. Once they're gone, the gold's mine, and I just think about what to do with it next."
And just out of character, do you say some of these kits had magical stuff on them?
Yes. Some of these are magical, some of them are crafted with special materials.
Ooh,
Are they obvious
I
that they
noticed some of
have? Is there anything that's obvious that has magic to it, or
Anything that's obvious that it has magic. I'll roll your percentage die.
or anything that looks higher quality than the rest that I might lead me to believe I should cast detect magic?
So as far as like stepping is like jumping out of you, just like that's magic. Nothing's gonna like just jump out of you of just like it's glowing and it's vibrant and it's illuminated. It's not reasonable, or rather it's not unreasonable to think that some of these are magical, though, in the sense that, you know, nobody's gonna sit and polish like the no one's going to sit and polish like some of the utensils here to the rate at which they're keeping themselves. Like you'd expect a hammer to have more wear on it than like the hammer you see in the smith tools or something like that.
Okay.
You don't know. You don't know if
magic.
they're magical, but it's not unreasonable to assume so. If that makes sense.
If there's an inkling that something could be magical, I'm gonna cast Detect Magic, which is I'm gonna do.
Okay. Looking at these weapons, you are going to see that the cooking supplies are magical. The weaver's utensils are magical. And I'll 50-50 on this last one. Evens, yes. Odds, no. Evens. Yes. You see the Thieves Tools are also magical.
Okay. I'm reading through the spell. I can't remember if it tells me what school. Yeah, I learned what school they are, too.
Yes, you can learn the school if you choose to use your action to do so. What you initially see, just looking at these items, you just see kind of like this faint bluish mist or cloud kind of form around the item. And if you choose to use your action, you can look.
I would use the action on the Thieves Tools to figure out what that is.
I believe this would be transmutation magic. Or enchantment. Actually, let me look at something, and then I can tell you exactly what it is. Because spells are classified in weird ways.
I give you that. Sometimes they're weird.
Haha, I was right on my first guess. Transmutation.
And I can't remember, did you say the smith tools were also magical, or
no, the smith tools are not magical.
Okay. Alright. That's it with that. For me with that. I would ask what the price is for both the smithing tools and the thieves tools.
Alright. Let's look at what their normal prices are. And then I can tell you what their altered prices are. Okay, let's see. The smith's tools are normally worth 20... excuse me. They are normally worth 20 gold. Looking at these smithing tools, they are made of a black metal. They are ebony in nature. It's not going to add too much to their price, and I'm going to say these are 45 gold.
Okay.
What was the other one you asked about?
The thieves tools.
Okay, the thieves tools are normally 25 gold. The thieves tools are made of a green metal. They are also one of the ones giving off that transmutation magic. The thieves tools are I'm going to put those at 450 gold.
Okay.
Those are some nice.
That's quite a sum. What are the properties of these tools?
She'll pick it up and explain. There is a magic enchantment on it that the tools bend to fit the form of locks. Essentially, they count as +1 thieves tools when you make checks with them. They are also adamantine and can only be broken with another adamantine item coming into contact with it.
That's beautiful tools and quite some price for them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Last question before we leave. How long are you going to be here? We might have friends that might be interested in some of these.
She's gonna say, oh, if I can hawk these and get passage back across the lake, and the cape doesn't get me, maybe 2 or 3 more days.
Okay, so you will likely be in the market for the rest of the day then.
She nods.
Okay, we might be back with some friends who might be interested in some of these.
Alrighty.
Last question. Can you recommend a good place to stay in town?
Good place to stay in town. Oh, whew. She's gonna think on it and say, well, if you can buy a room next to all the mercenaries, they might, or if you can buy a room next to the Shield Hands mercenaries, they might be able to protect you. Otherwise, people have been getting snatched out of inns, snatched out of their houses. If I was you, I'd pick someplace high and someplace private.
Is that what you did? You stayed near the Shield Hands mercenaries? You trust them with your life?
She is gonna think on it and say, no, I would like to think that I've just been lucky.
Okay. Kayeth walks away disappointed he didn't find out where she was staying.
Brom follows right behind Kaya.
Yeah. Following as well.
What's the third merchant?
The third merchant, I rolled this up because I was thinking about things.
We're all in trouble now.
Yeah. The third merchant walking over to them, you are going to see they have got various knickknacks and different small trinkets, totems, and other things. Each one is displayed in a tiny hand chest. The chest being no larger than about 9 inches long, 7 inches, 5 inches deep or wide, and Steve, I will get you that information. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
These are, these are just different totems and ornaments you see here. The person you see selling them is a man wearing a headband tied around his forehead. He also seems to have been watching the spar that went on between those 2 men earlier over the food.
Good day, sir. I'm looking for a particular type of... You might be able to help me. I'm looking for a small sort of glass eye or golden horn. I need it for a spell component. Kayeth's after the clairvoyance components for 100 gold.
Okay. Let's roll him a percentage die of if he has that. A focus worth at least 100 gold, either a jeweled horn for hearing or a glass eye for seeing. He is going to... when you say that, he's gonna pick up one of these totems out of the chest he has in front of him. He's gonna turn it over, look it in its eye. It does have a gemstone eye in it, and he's gonna then push it towards Kayeth and say, "Would this work?"
Would it?
I'm going to say, yeah, if you pop the eye out of there, that gemstone is probably worth about 100 gold. It would effectively function as an eye for seeing.
It might work. How much do you want for it?
Let us see. He's gonna lean back and say, the totem itself is probably worth a good 400 gold on its own. You just want the eye, I suppose? He's gonna take a dagger out and pry it against the totem until it applies enough leverage and it pops out. He'll turn it over in his hand and say, part with it for 150 gold. You know, damaged goods and all in the totem.
It's barely worth more than 90. Look at it, you scratched the corner just here.
Roll me a persuasion check. He's gonna say, yeah, but where else are you gonna get one? 110.
I can wait. 100 I walk.
God's damn crown members. Fine. He's gonna gesture for the gold.
Guys will pay him.
He flicks the gemstone to you, paying no heed to if you catch it. I'm not going to make Kyath roll anything for it. It'll land against Kyath's jets, and he can hold it however he wants. If you want to catch it in a very cool way, I'll give you a dexterity check, DC 10.
Kyath does not want to do that. He wants to play it safe. But he will say, but I might be willing to part with his 10 gold for some information.
He's gonna look up to you and say, I'll tell you what, I didn't kill whoever had all this stuff on him.
Okay, that's good to know. I'm not too interested in where this stuff came from.
He's listening. Or rather, I guess, yeah, he'll say, I'm listening.
How long you been in town for?
Let's roll. Oh, no, not long at all. He's gonna say, about a day or two. Came in on the roads.
Oh well then. You can help me then. But thank you for your business. And if you're going to be here much longer, are you looking for anything in particular? Maybe in our travels we can come back and sell you something.
He's gonna think for a second. And does he want his name given out? Yeah, he'll think for a second and say, how about this? You tell me if you see anybody moving anything interesting around here, and I can assist them. Might be in town for a few more days.
Very well. Thank you for your business, and best of luck on your travels and trading.
He nods. He goes back to sitting at his stall waiting for anybody to come by and buy these last couple things. Alright, where are you three headed?
Well, we found out very little about the crown or the mercenaries. Shall we go and try and meet up with the rest of the group, see what they've discovered? This murderer sounds troubling.
Yeah, it does.
Definitely does.
Why were you asking for a place to stay? I thought we were planning on leaving this afternoon.
I was just digging for more information.
Okay, I see.
Kyath looks a little bit shifty. It's not like he was planning to find out where she lived and sending Nyoka to steal those thieves' tools. He wasn't thinking that at all.
Ah ha ha ha.
I just want to shout out to Rob. I didn't kill the guy who had all this stuff. That's exactly what the murderer would say. All right.
And I'll have you know that Nyoka is a reformed criminal.
Yeah, reform.
Before we do anything, hold on. Before we do anything,
Yes.
Brown would like to ask Kayeth how much he knows about illusion magic and any magics that could make him see things.
Oh, I know somewhat about illusions. Kayeth will cast minor illusion and make a little image appear, and I have been recently studying from the library and learned about more the divination magics. So I do know some about illusions and divination. Why do you ask?
Well, when we were in that mist, I saw visions of siblings that I didn't know I had. And I was
Interesting.
kind of hoping maybe do something or some way to recreate those.
To recreate the illusions.
Or the visions, so that I could, like maybe find out some more information about my family.
Well, often with illusions or enchantments, the information's not real. It's the wizard or the spellcaster who sort of creates the content of the illusions. Like, I can make this look like a rose or a vase, but it doesn't make the information true.
Okay.
I have heard of other magics which are, I don't know very much about them, but they look like illusions, but they're not, and it's magic I don't understand. And so it could be it's a different type of magic. It's not spells per se. I have heard that sometimes they can reveal truths of a different sort. But yeah, I don't know if I'd know enough to be able to determine the difference.
Okay. I apparently met siblings. Like I said, I met my siblings. And they gave me some very strange information. I don't know what to do about it.
Is there a way to test whether this information is true? Did you learn your siblings' names?
No, I didn't. Did I?
I
don't think I don't.
You did.
Did I? I didn't write it down because I was in my bedroom.
Okay. The names were Ansel and Stelly. Do you need me to
Stelly.
type those out to you?
I'm gonna get my piece of paper over here and my pen from my work pants and it's down.
Okay.
Now I know last session we did an arcane check on whether or not we recognize the magic that they're suffering from. I forget if Anaziah passed it or not.
You guys didn't, but the person on deck, the Captain Anzov, told you guys more about it. He explained that what you guys were describing seemed a lot like a strange type of magic called Ryecraft.
So, yeah, I'll explain that. I'll say that it's not what I'd say it sounds like Ryecraft from what we were told on the boat by one of the crewmates. I don't know much about it. I couldn't think of anything about it. I'm not sure if you heard that when they explained it, because you were kind of out of it for a while there.
Yeah. Apparently my mother sold them. Yeah, I've been trying to find my family. That's what I've been doing since I escaped, and now there's this. So I apologize if I was a little out of it back there, but
well, it's kind of understandable. Like, we didn't know what was happening. We're a little worried you fall in the ocean, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So your mother sold your siblings and yourself into slavery?
I guess that's what the vision said, but don't know. I don't know if I can trust it. That's why I'm asking you. You seem to know a lot about magic that I have no clue about.
My first instinct to see is if we can verify any information that the vision gave you to see if it's true in the world. And if it is, then it would be very hard for a wizard to know that something that you didn't know and to present it to you in that way. So if there's any truth to it, then it would definitely be this Rycraft or something similar. Brandon, can I cast Sending to just someone with a name, or do I have to have met them, or what's the deal with that?
I think you have to be very familiar with them.
Yeah, the casting for Sending is you have to be familiar with them. I'm going to rule that it's someone that you've met and somebody whose name you know.
Okay. Yeah, maybe there's magics that I don't know yet, but maybe in the future I could scry on them or something like this, so we could find another wizard back home to help out. That's the most I can think of at this stage. Or we could find someone who knows more about this Rycraft and see if they could recreate the vision for you.
Or
It might be.
teach us this Rycraft so that... Yeah.
It might be a really good idea the next time we're back at the sigil to ask around, see if we can find someone who might know about this.
Well, that's definitely what I was gonna do, because that is the whole purpose of my joining the sigil, so that I can find my family.
Well, if I can be of assistance, I would be very pleased to help you. And yeah, this must have been something of a shock. And I just want to say that I can understand more your perspectives on slavery now, and how they're so different from mine.
It's, my whole life was slavery. I knew nothing other than that, as far as I can remember. To find out now that I wasn't taken from my parents and they're not looking for me, or as far as I know, but finding out that I was willingly given. I'm just going on instinct at this point.
Maybe it would be wise to get all the information before jumping to conclusions, because yeah, if this vision is true, then who knows what the situation was.
Yeah, that's why I asked you, 'cause you know magics that I do not.
Well, you can count on my help in researching this further.
I will definitely be.
Mine too.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty I'm not going to speak for the others, but I'm pretty sure most of them are willing to give you a hand as well. If not all.
Thank you for speaking up, Brown. It pleases me to be able to help you. Shall we go find the others?
Let's.
No. How long was it? Because I know we set a meeting time, I just forget when that was. Like, we would know how far before the meeting time was, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys said sundown at a specific place. That specific place being... I'm pretty sure at the lake docks was the specific
Yeah, the
place.
docks.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
If there's is there much time to that, or are we nearly there?
I'm gonna roll. We're moving past midday. I will probably take one more set of actions from everybody, and then I'll say we'll be moving towards sundown. So yeah, you guys have time. At the latest, it would be 1 or 2 p.m.
Well, do we want to go investigate in other areas first? Otherwise, we'd be waiting for a while.
Yeah, I suggest we go and find out what we can about the mercenaries and when they arrived, and the crown and how they got here, and maybe there's a camp just between the. Well, I'm happy to share with the rest of the party, but I think we should. I think we should try and steal an airship on this mission. I'm sure that Wilbert can help us navigate, and I think arriving back home in an airship would be make our presence known in the sigil, and be a very powerful asset for all of us. So if we can find like the camp of these mercenaries or one of these ships and figure out how to steal one, just something I'm thinking of. But I suggest we spend more time gathering information, unless you two have other suggestions or ideas.
Stealing an airship is a lot.
Yeah, that would be a big ask. It's an idea, though.
I'm
just an idea.
I am totally down for it, because we can sell it for a lot of money, and yeah, but it's a big deal. They'll really come after us.
Yeah.
Yes, they will.
So, we heading to speak to some of the mercenaries then?
I'm up for that. I was hoping to find some more merchants just to find out general information, but perhaps we could go to the mercenaries and try and sell our services. We are adventurers. We're looking for employment. We're quite capable. Maybe Brahm could prove his capability by beating one up. Something like that.
Or 1 or 2. I could use it now.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
So Brahm will beat 2 of them up, 2 to 1.
Okay.
All right. Brahm is going to beat some people up. You guys go looking for mercenaries. They are not hard to find. There are a couple of them coordinating things throughout town. I'm going to roll a d4 of where you run into a bunch. So you guys go looking towards the residential bay, or the residential rows. Before you do, I'm going to jump over to Nyoka and Lex. Shelby, are you there?
I am.
Okay, so you and Lex went off to try and get some information from the citizens, looking through one of these rubbled ways. You guys poked into one house. You saw, things were taken out in a haste. There seemed to be a fight here, and whoever left this place left a lot of their stuff. You guys snatched what valuables you could and then ran off. I don't 100% remember the direction you guys were going.
We were going to check out the place across the river.
Okay, so you're going across the bay too. Cool. So you'll run into Azure and Wilbur. I'm going to rule that your guys' timings are going to kind of coincide with, the time that you guys both start arriving there. So, I have this place rolled up. I have notes for this place. All right, so you guys are going to walk across the bay, heading towards the southeast part of Ziwatecas. Across the bay stands alone a large manor, towers coming out of each side of it. The structures of these towers and the architecture of this manor appears that it was built at a different time than the rest of Ziwatecas.
Brandon, we would have tried to do that stealthily. At least me and Lex would.
Okay,
If we see Wilbur and Azure, we may.
Okay, I'll describe it for both groups, and then I'll get your actions individually then.
Okay.
Alright, so It's a bit of a newer building that doesn't have any of the fungus overgrowth or moss creeping up it. The yard around this place seems well manicured, and there is a platform on the second floor here. There's a platform on the... Well, no, there's a platform, I'm sorry, on the third floor that extends out from one of the buildings. As you guys are walking and just looking up at this, you see there are about a dozen people. Some standing, some sitting. You can just like barely see their heads on this open platform, sitting, looking up at the sky in meditation. Approaching this building, there is an entranceway, a tower that stands as an entrance into the first floor of the building, facing, and this tower would be facing Ziwatecas proper. So if we have two different groups of people approaching this, there is a loose clearing around this building where this area is being maintained. Shelby, for Nyoka, give me a stealth check. That stealth is going to be for watching these people on the third floor and trying to sprint as close as you can towards the building between like one of the gaps. There aren't a lot of places here to hide on approach. And I'm gonna roll one for Lex. Cool. All right. And before I handle Nyoka and Lex getting close to this building, I'm going to rule that Azure and Wilbert are probably walking up a cobbled path around the bayside, over a small built stone bridge that just wraps around the bay. From the bridge, a walkway that leads into the small grove of trees, through the grove of trees into the courtyard in front of this abbey. With that, are there any other actions that Wilbur and Azure want to take before I move forward?
What did we want to accomplish at this place? Again, that slips my mind. Or is it just on our way back?
It's the last place in town you guys haven't investigated.
Okay.
Well, we are still, we're trying to find that murderer, and I'm trying to find, between you and me, a place that we can recover. I'm getting pretty hungry, and desecrated land would be really helpful right now. So, these buildings are pretty tall. I might have a good vantage from up there. Kind of guess where I might be able to go, or they may have something desecrated inside. Who knows?
I mean, this is as good a place to look as any, I suppose. I don't really know anything about desecrated this or that, but
Unredeemable evil could work as well.
I don't know much about that either. But I mean, if you want to take a look inside, this wouldn't be no harm taking a look inside.
Sure, let's go say hello.
We got some decent food.
They might.
We'll go check out inside, see what's going on.
It's indeed.
All right. As you guys approach the building, you approach the tower that you assume to be the part of the main entranceway where this cobbled path leads towards. On to your right, a blur is going to catch your eye, a shadow moving quickly, and then another one. You guys are going to notice the outline of a sprinting lizard folk. with that, Nyoka did not beat your guys' passive perception. Well, he actually beat Azure's passive perception. Azure doesn't notice. But he didn't beat Wilbert's.
Oh,
How low is your passive perception?
9.
9 didn't. A 9 beat it.
It goes in favor of the attacker.
I have a 9, so
My goodness.
he's not a very wise fellow.
I see that.
Yeah, Shelby, Nyoka, and Lex, for the most part, like, Lex is... You guys are going to be watching these people. You see 2 people walking down the path towards this building, at which point, you know, they're talking to each other. You recognize Azure and Wilbur, and as you turn to look, Lex is already sprinting across the field, following behind her. Nyoka does not do as well. In any case, you guys are able to get pressed against the building between 2 windows in a way that nobody currently has vision on you.
I'm just staring at Nyoka as he passed. Huh.
Did you see something?
Yep. I suppose I did.
Should I ready for battle?
Nah.
Alright,
It's just... Well, I hope there's nobody in here. Well,
I mean, a gesture to the people up on the balcony.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully they didn't see him too.
Do you guys knock on the large wooden door?
Yeah.
Of the tower? Somebody is going to stick their head out of one of the larger... or one of the higher windows, looking down. And
How high?
they're going to say, "Who are you?"
I'm a paladin. Come to visit.
I'm Wilbert. I'm with him.
We already have a paladin. Thank you.
I need to see him. He's a friend of mine.
Well, I'll ask him, but I don't think he wants to see you. The person leans back in the window.
Monks.
Yeah, I'm never gonna buy that. I'm only assuming I might have met him.
Why are we going with the paladin route again?
The guy sticks his head back out the window and says, "He says we've already got a paladin."
We're not offering services. Paladin services. We just want to check out your lovely establishment.
I'd honestly like to see the view. Looks great up there.
He wants to see the view.
He's going to think for a moment and then say, "Well, it's not that we don't like you. It's just that, well, we don't let people in from Ziwatecas."
Well, good thing we're not from Ziwatecas then, huh?
Is there nods?
He sticks his head out again and says, "I don't want to have to be mean, so you should go away."
Give me just a second. How many explosives do I have on me at the current time?
That's always a good.
I how far away can my charm work? Let's see. How high is he? What window?
How high is he? I want to roll. He's on the 3rd floor. How high would that be?
Is he high enough to hear coins jingling?
I would say he's shouting down to you guys from at least 40 feet.
All right.
From the tower.
Well, I'm going to take out about 5 coins and kind of jingle them in my hand. You sure?
Hold on. Let me read his doctrine real quick.
Azure would emphasize these are solid, whatever kind of coin they are.
They're gold coins. Technically, any coin I have is no gold.
As you start jingling them, he's going to say, "Are those coins?"
Oh yeah, they're very nice coins.
Is there a gold one in there?
They're all gold.
Yeah, we already have one of those.
How would you like 5 of them? And I'm going to
hold on, I'll ask him.
Not for him, it's for you.
He's already stuck his head back inside.
By the bridge, are these people born with 2 brain cells among them?
He
Apparently.
comes back outside a minute later and sticks his head out of the tower looking down and says, he says he's already got one.
By the bridge.
What doesn't he have?
Okay, wait, I've got an idea. How about a silver one? Does he have a silver one?
A silver
What is this creature
that you're looking at up there?
Yeah.
What's let's see, Wilbert's Vision's 13. He's a half orc? Or is he human? He's a human.
He's a human.
Yeah. Looking up at this guy, from what you can tell, he looks humanoid. Give me a perception check. He's a little high up to make out his features.
I'm that invested, but we'll see.
Might as well too.
He looks elfish in nature. Or
Well,
elvish in nature.
Tell you what, ask him if he's got a silver one or if he has a ruby. And would he like a ruby?
He's gonna say, I'll ask him, but I'm pretty sure he's already got one too. He goes back inside.
Would you like some lead?
He's already inside.
I know, that's why I'm saying it. Wilbur takes a big drink from his jug. By the bridge.
He's
I don't get along with a bridge.
He's going to come back outside.
Take my food.
And he's going to come back outside, stick his head out the window, and say, "No, he said he already has one, and you should mind your own business."
Fine, I'll go give these 5 coins to somebody else.
Hey, I really need to use the bathroom though. You gotta let me into the chamber pot, man.
Brain dead. Half baked.
I make a pee-pee dance.
You make a pee-pee dance.
Our glorious paladin. Oh.
Yeah, I told him I gotta use it. I gotta use the
Roll.
the chamber pot, man.
Please make him roll a performance check.
Yeah, I was gonna say, roll me a performance or a deception. I'll allow either.
That was horrible.
He's gonna say, "Wait, hold on." He sticks his head back inside,
Can you not think for yourself?
and then he is going to. There's something falling towards. There's something falling towards Azure. I'm going to say you can give me a dexterity check to get out of the way of it, but as it falls, more stuff starts to splay over, and It is messy. At first, it looks like mud. It looks like mud falling out of a bucket, and you're going to be able to jump out of the way of this as it splats to the ground. It is a chamber bucket. It has been used.
Clearly.
He just threw the shitter on you?
Pretty much.
He's going to stick his head out and say, "Will that help?"
No. You broke it.
Hold on. Let me try something. I'm going to chuck it back through the window.
Give me an attack roll with disadvantage.
Uh,
It is out of the range of a thrown weapons.
I don't care if it hits or not. The point is I'm throwing it back.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I
Let him
guess
poop on the side of this, Abby. Oof.
that's
Give me one more.
+2. Okay.
All right. So yeah, it is not going. That's going to be 5 plus your strength modifier plus your proficiency bonus. It is not going to hit. It's not going to hit him, but it's going to land smack on the side of this tower before falling. He's going to look over and say, "Oh, he does not like his castle, or he doesn't like his abbey dirty."
That sounds like your problem. Have a good day. I'm walking off.
All
I'm
right.
gonna walk around the building.
Okay. Before you walk around the building, let's see what is Wilbert not Wilbert. What's Lex and Nyoka doing?
Well, with this great distraction that I didn't expect to have, we're gonna see if there is a way to get inside.
Okay.
We just want to case the joint as quietly as possible.
Let's see. Do you want high in your favor or low in your favor?
I
I didn't set the parameters before I rolled this die.
Wesley, just pick for me.
Just low.
All right. You are going to start testing at the shutters and the windows that are closest to you. You don't feel any of these windows open, as each one of the windows and shutters facing the town are locked. Moving around the far side of this, the closest thing you're going to be able to see that you can get into, there is a window with some smoke coming out of it open on the second floor.
Okay, I'm gonna try and go in there.
Okay. There isn't on this wall. I'm gonna say the stonework of this building is well done enough that it's not just easy to grab onto each one of these bricks and move up. It will be a climbing shack.
Okay.
All right, let's see. So go ahead and give me an athletics check as that climbing check, and I will roll one for Lex 2. What type of thief or rogue is she?
That's okay. I did not do very good.
All right. Yeah, it is ridiculously difficult for you guys to get your fingers in any sort of grip on here. Let's see, what's Lex got on her bag? Lex has rope, and she has an arrow, and she's got a crowbar. If she can get it in that window, it's not unfeasible that she can get it wedged in the corner and give you guys a rope to climb up. And I feel like Lex would suggest that. She mostly robbed caravans, didn't rob people, but I feel like she'd speak up and just say, we can take the rope and try and climb up there.
All right, we'll do that.
All right. Lex is going to tie the rope. Let's see. This is going to, instead of +3 to that check, or rather, instead of +7, that's going to be +5, which means we'll just subtract 2 from that final roll, so it's going to be a 21. She begins knotting the rope so that you guys can climb up the knotted rope, and that is going to reduce its height in half, tying it to the crowbar. And I don't think this crowbar is going to fly launched on an arrow. I'm going to say one of you guys are going to have to lob it into the window. Lex is going to look at Nyoka, and after, I guess, like, looking back and forth, eventually Lex is going to swing it around and heave it into the air and then throw it actually throw it in there. The crowbar is going to land in the window, and Lex begins testing it, pulling it very slowly. It lodges in the corner of the window. It is firm enough for you guys to climb up. Lex, who has done all of the work, is going to hand the rope towards Nyoka to go first.
Okay.
Nyoka climbs up it?
Yeah, I'm going to climb up it.
All right. As you begin climbing this rope, the smoke and smells of this room have been drifting off and up into the wind. Getting closer, you smell the cooking of food. The first thing you're going to notice as you peep over into this room is, oh my gosh, if the rest of the town is poor, whoever is living here is rolling in money to import whatever resources they have. Not only do you see green vegetables, flowers, different herbs on racks, different pieces of garlics hung on strings hanging over. You smell different foods being cooked. An oven near the window here that is slowly baking something. There is somebody in here who is moving dough on a table, and they are humming to themselves and tilting their heads like back and forth as they're just singing as they are preparing this food. There's all types of fresh food here inside of this room.
Okay. Any way to get out of there quickly?
I'm rolling as Nyoka is. I'm still moving on your 9 stealth. It lasts until you are challenged, so I'm rolling that Nyoka is just peeking over the window, and he hasn't jumped in yet. Do you want to go inside of the window?
I'm going to motion to Lex to stay there, and yeah, I'm gonna try and stealth through the window.
All right. Moving through the window, you're able to climb in past the oven, and this person is just jamming out. as they are going ham on this dough, just
Describe the person.
Let's roll up a random NPC. Wait a second. I rolled up one. They look orcish in nature to you. Perhaps a half-orc. It is a woman. She is currently exuberant as she is cooking this food. You are able to sink into the room, skulk next to a table, and if you go to the other side of the room, you can probably hide behind some of these like barrels of food, easy without being noticed by her. Because sometimes NPCs roll 5s on their perception checks.
I'm going to see if I can just like walk out, but I'm going to change my appearance to her. Like, can I slink out of the doorway, or is it just to hide?
Give me a second to think about how that would functionally work, because you can't stealthily cast a spell. So just let my brain process that. And if you can link me that Warlock invocation that lets you do that. I think it's like Mask of Many Faces. I want to familiarize myself with the text of it. But about this time, while you're up there, is where Steve's character, Azure, if Azure is circling around the building.
This right next to the wall. I'm watching for anything that might be graveyard-like or such as I go.
Okay.
If I have to speak or whatever, I wouldn't do it. I would just walk out and see if I could do it out of earshot, basically.
Okay, so for Steve, you're only going to get so far around this wall before you are going to notice a knotted rope hanging out the window of the second floor of this building.
Isn't Lex standing right beside it too?
Yeah, Lex can still work off of their stealth check, but I feel like once Lex notices it's you, you're just going to see like Lex come out of like the bushes, and Lex is going to wave to Azure and kind of just like get down and like push your head underneath the level of like these windows on the first floor so that you're not like walking by each one.
Okay, he'll take the hint and squat walk.
She's going to look towards Azure and say, "What is this building anyways? Nyoka's inside."
Well, they called it some sort of abbey. The guy you talked to us wasn't very smart. He kept going inside to ask if the guy had the thing that we're asking about. And the reply was always like, "We already have one, and it's not your business." So, ultimately that was a dead end. We didn't get in that way.
It very much reminded me of Monty Python.
Oh yeah.
We're on the quest for the grail.
You know what?
The French Caniggas.
I actually thought that too, and I was just about to say like, "Go boil your bottoms, you sons of Englishmen!" And I just started laughing super hard, but I didn't want to do that.
My nose is in your general direction.
I fatten you.
Your father was a lizard, and your mother was a lizard, and your father smelt of elderberries.
At which point, though,
hamster.
Lex is going to let's say, well, Nyoka's inside poking around. I'm gonna go up there and help him.
Okay, I'll give you a head start. Leave this rope, would you?
Lex is going to go back up, or she's going to climb up there, stopping at the window, and she is going to make a stealth check. Again, because hers was challenge. She rolls hers with disadvantage, going through a doorway or window way, and it is that. There we go. All right. Oh my God, is that another nat 20 on the other one?
Yeah, she's gonna freak there.
Yeah, just not even here tonight to enjoy these. Lex is going to climb in. Shut up, Alexa. Lex is going to climb into the window, rolling behind Nyoka. Nyoka, I see that spell. Are you using Warlock slots to cast that, or are you using a Warlock invocation to cast it?
It's an invocation. It just basically makes it that spell.
Okay, I wanted to see. I can look it up real quick because I know which one it is. I just wanted to see if it had any text on, like, you can use an action to do so,
No.
or yeah. If let's see.
Just says that I can cast it at will.
Okay, yeah, you can cast without expending a spell slot. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna rule, like, this room. It's not like a very big room. There's a bunch of food stored in here, and there's probably not more than 12 or 15 feet of space. This woman didn't notice you, not because you were stealthy, but more so because you just stayed out of her line of vision and she was more focused on her task at hand. I'm not gonna, like, gotcha DM. I am gonna say if Nyoka casts a spell, she's gonna like this. Think of like a bedroom, and you're on the other side of the bedroom. Like, she's gonna look up and definitely hear, like, whatever the casting of that spell is, and that's information Nyoka has for free.
I get you. Can I just get out of the room?
Yeah. With that, if you skulk by, you head to the doorway. Well, this is another thing. I'm gonna evens the doors open, odds the doors close, because that would be the last thing that I need to determine. Evens, the door is open. Yeah, you are able to skulk out of the doorway and move out of this room. You are going to notice as you are moving out of this room, Lex has climbed into the window behind you, hiding by the oven, watching this woman cook bread. Very slowly, Lex is going to follow your path.
Wilbur, where'd you go?
I'm heading back down the road.
Okay.
I guess I'll stop if I see he wasn't following. It's like, what the hell? And kind of just look around and see if I see him anywhere.
Yeah, if you start walking around this abbey, standing outside of one window, you're gonna. I'm assuming as you're standing there, you didn't tell me you're making any stealth check.
Yeah, he'll just kind of lean against the wall, kind of concealing the rope, half-assed.
Yeah, you're gonna see. As you're standing next to a wall, there is a knotted rope hanging from a second floor window.
Huh. What's going on over here?
Well, those other two are inside. I was going to wait until they have a minute or two, and then head up myself.
Well, Have a good one.
Alright. See you at the docks later.
See you. Yeah, I'm heading out.
Okay. Is Azure climbing the rope, or is he just staying down there?
Does he see any graveyards or anything around?
Out here, I'm gonna say no, not at this place.
He's gonna wait. He's gonna give them more time. He wants them to be well beyond the room.
Okay. So Shelby, you step into the hallway. Lex following behind you. You can see that the outer rooms of this manor line the outer rooms of this abbey line this entire second floor, presumably the first floor too, and there's a roof above you, or there's a ceiling above you, so you don't see the third floor. You can look down the railing into the first floor. All of the windows are on the outside. There are no windows that get to the inner reaches here. While the daylight from outside, from the few rooms with doors open, still shine in, makes the rest of this place kind of have a dim light. And looking towards the inner reaches, moving any deeper into this place, presumably turning the hallway, you can see the flickering of light as that the rest of this abbey is lit with torches or some other sort of flickering magical light source, as daylight does not seem to reach it. You are on the second floor. There's a railing directly in front of you, which I guess would be to your left. To your right is a hall of doors lining the rest of this side of the house. You can move to your left, or rather turning and going to your left. The railing that you see wraps around this whole floor, and there's another line of rooms on the other side. Only maybe one out of every 6 of these rooms has an open door.
If I cautiously peek down the railing, do I see what's on the first floor?
Yeah, on the first floor, you are going to be able to see there are several bookshelves. It also looks like there's an area of pews where people, specifically here, have a chance to come out of these rooms, and some sort of either classroom or area for people to be ministered to. The pews are arranged towards a podium nearest the bookshelves.
Do I see any windows down below?
Again, on the first floor and the second floor, there are no windows to the inner sanctum here. There are rooms that line.
Gotcha.
Yeah, line these chambers.
I'm going to try and get close to the next room that has a door open. Do I hear any people inside it?
Let us see. No, this room's actually open.
When you say open, what does that
Oh, I'm sorry.
mean?
It's open. You step inside of here. You're going to see different sets of, I would say probably different sets of threads and fabrics being sewn together, and different mannequins with sets of partially finished robes on them. The room is open. The sunlight from the afternoon sun is pouring in. However, nobody is in this room.
I am going to actually try and take one of the robes, and I'm going to hand it to Lex. And
Okay.
then I am going to turn into the cook.
Okay. I'm going to say, for recollection purposes, for Nyoka, the cook was not wearing one of these robes, but now that you're taking a look at it, you did see a garment thrown over like a chair, similar in the room.
Okay.
All right. So, Nyoka, you are able to mask many faces into the you're able to mask many faces into the cook. Lex is going to don the partially finished robe. A couple ends of like the sleeves and stuff, like the hem's probably not completely sewn up. And Lex is going to whisper and say, "What do you think they're doing here?"
Ilka's just gonna shrug and go, "Well, I don't know. But let's see if we can quickly find out. We need to get out of here soon.
Okay.
We might be pushing our luck as is."
All right. Going and well, so you're able to don those robes. Do you want to move anywhere?
Yeah, we're gonna move to the next door that's open.
Okay. Moving to the next door that is open. You're going to move to the next door, just taking your time, moving about up here, and I need to... Wow. Alright. You're gonna find another room up here, and for the most part, and I'm gonna roll. This is gonna be like the last of the open ones on this part of this hall. And for the most part, this room is also empty. It's another crafting room. And here, what would they be crafting? In this room, you are actually going to see there are different tubs. Well, not tubs. That's not what I want. There are different crates in here. The crates moisten a barrel of water, and around this room, you are going to see potter's tools and the crafts to make pottery. However, none is currently being made.
Okay. So it's just a potter's place?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing's really telling me what it is. Then I will try and head downstairs.
Okay, heading downstairs. I'm gonna roll from where you are at in the manor. Just moving, down the stairwell. You can see into the deeper recesses here. There is a person walking with dancing lights above them, moving through these, or that was moving through this area on the first floor. They did not notice you while you were on the second floor. They have got the robes on and their hood up as they are walking to the far west, southwestern reaches of this abbey.
I would try and avoid that person at all if I can hide stealth from them.
Okay. Your stealth check doesn't have to be re-rolled until it is challenged. This person, however, is going to stop, turn, and look around this hallway. I didn't describe what is here. I'm gonna say each of you guys have enough stuff to hide behind, because this abbey is pretty well furnished. And he doesn't uniquely notice either of you.
Okay.
And Nyoka, give me a Constitution save. Alright. This man stops for a minute looking around the hallway, and then he keeps going. Lex is going to lean forward and whisper to Nyoka and say, I'm getting a really strange feeling.
Nyoka's gonna be like what?
She's going to shrug and say, I don't know, when you fall and you have that fear in your stomach lurches. Except whatever that feeling is, it feels like it's pulling me that way. She points down the hall.
Nyoka's dumb, so he's gonna be like, well, let's go down that way. If we can avoid the guy with the lights, that's what I would want to do.
Okay.
I'll head down that way.
As you are going down this hallway, you are going to. There's going to be one area in here where there is sunlight coming in from a high room, and looking up. It's going to be one of the few places that sunlight reaches. There is a oculus, a shaded glass oculus here, and the light is moving across the room almost. It's moving across this room, and it is moving across a pattern on the ground. It is some type of solar clock here. Your boots echo in this large chamber. As you guys are walking, just stopping in this hallway and looking in and looking around. You don't initially see anybody, but you do see somebody coming down to a balcony on up to the third floor. You can finally, all three floors here are revealed. Somebody comes down to a balcony, and he's going to lean out and look around for a moment, and he's going to say, he is going to look around for a moment and say, Alexandria, pointing at Nyoka, and he's going to say, some of the Tydethal's men threw shit on the tower outside. If you want to earn your stay, go and clean it up. He sticks his head back inside. You hear his footsteps echoing as he begins climbing up steps.
Okay. So the clock doesn't tell me anything?
Oh, what do you want to know about it?
So, I mean, is it just empty? Is it not telling me any about this abbey? Like, who they worship.
Oh, okay. So go ahead and give me a religion check. Looking down at the clock, you see on the northernmost chamber here. You see a eye that will. Your initial glance of it, it looks like a moon. But staring at it a little bit further, you see that it is an eye. There are different rays coming out from it in different areas here. And each one of these areas arcs around the room. Right now, the sun is probably on the Probably on the second of these, and there would be 4 sets of these arcs around the room as different places that the sun would travel over this oculus. That said, for the most part, there are ebony stones. There are ebony stones are ebony tiles in between each of these like marble tiles where the arcs of the marble are placed. The 9 religion check, you're not sure what this is. I suppose Lex will try and make the same type of check with you. Let's see. She doesn't have disadvantage on that, so I'm going to take it at 17. And Lex is going to have a sharp inhale for a moment, and she's going to say, Nyoka!
And I goes like, what?
This is a Terai religion.
Okay.
You know the sucky sucky soul eat people?
Mm-hmm. That not good. Nyoka doesn't want his soul eaten.
And Nyoka, you are going to feel it too. Now that Lex pointed it out, you passed the save, so it doesn't really bother you. But it's just kind of that whispered thing in Ilderon. Whenever large amounts of Terai congregate in one place, it feels very uncomfortable for living people. You're starting to feel it of just like, oh, Nyoka's really used to being uncomfortable, but like you can feel that pull. That's just like it's tugging on you in places that you can't even touch.
Mm-hmm. All right. With that knowledge, Nyoka is going to be like, okay, we got enough information. He's going to look for a way out.
Well, you were told to shove or to clean shit off of the tower. You can go out the front door.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do.
If you walk out of the door, I mean, I'm pretty sure this guy is just going to expect you to clean shit. There's stepping into this tower, in this entrance room, I'm going to say that there are several ladders and a few buckets. There's a couple brushes there. If you want to grab any of them, you are beyond welcome to. Lex is going to go out before you. She'll look up and say, I don't think he's watching. And walk down the path.
Okay. I will take a... Well, I won't take a ladder. Actually, I will take a ladder. I'll take a ladder.
Okay.
And
you're able to tilt or maneuver it down.
And I'm going to move it up, and I'm going to put it semi near the window where we climbed in. And I'm going to retrieve the
You're on a different part of the building by the way. I have a inspiration picture for this in the bottom part. If you want, real quick, if you scroll down on roll 20, you guys were on this back side of this building where that arrow is pointing. And I'll do this one in green, at which point you guys have went through the building to a point you have came out the main entrance of this abbey.
Well, where's the bucket incident? Was it at the main entrance?
Yeah. So walking out of this door in that tower is where you're going to be able to find, the means to clean said tower. Lex has already removed the bar and opened the large wooden door.
Then I'm just gonna walk out and try and retrieve the rope and the.
Oh, okay. You're trying to just go out and around. Okay.
Yeah.
The guy who's paying attention, or the guy who's watching this, doesn't seem to be paying much attention. Well, I mean, now you'd roll a 15 on his check. He's gonna look out of the window, and he's gonna say, "Make sure to clean the pavement too." And stick his head back in. At which point you're able to go around. I'm gonna roll a percentage die. A couple jingles of the rope, it comes free. And this woman continues to roll 4 this time on her perception check. I'm just like, hey, what is that? All right, so you're able to recover the rope. It is knotted. Oh, Azure is there too.
Yeah.
Azure. So you're going to see Lex and a half-orc woman walking up to you. They are wearing robes. You are entitled to a free religion check.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't know it. Whatever they are, they're probably robes of what's ever inside of this monastery.
All right. Well, since I don't see any evident graveyards, and this could be a rebuilt building or something, I'm going to go ahead and do a Divine Sense.
Okay.
Just to feel around for any desecration.
I will let you do that, but do keep in mind total cover does prevent your Divine Sense.
Right. I can't see or sense the people. I know that.
Okay.
It'd have to be the building or the ground itself at this point. Or even remnants on the clothing they're wearing, perhaps. If such things linger.
Okay, so that's interesting. Because I don't believe hallowed ground is protected if it's not behind total cover. So let me see what the radius is, if that is.
60 feet, I think.
You are going to sense hallowed ground.
Oh wow! Okay.
Coming from within the abbey.
Unhallowed or hollowed?
It is. Let's see. You within the same radius, you detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated as with the hollow spell.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Both? Question mark? Yeah, you are going to. You feel a very balanced ring on your on the harmonies of, or the harmonic tones of your senses.
Okay.
Otherwise, you three are back together. Wilbert is heading back to town.
Nyoka dissipates the illusion of the girl. And then once he gets Lex's stuff back, he's going to hand it to her and say, "Come on, we got to go." And then he looks at Lex and says, "You might want to take that rope and put it in this in the bag of holding."
So I felt all that inside the building, basically, or in the direction of the building?
Coming from, the direction of the building.
I'll ask them quietly what was in the room up there.
Mostly they're monks. They do pottery and hymning and worship.
Huh.
But Lex seems to think that they are Terrai.
Oh.
Lex is going to speak up and say, I saw a symbol of a religion in the Eternal Eye. It's the one they all worship in the Darkened Vale. Don't know much about it, but I know enough to stay away from it.
Azur will nod thoughtfully and move to leave with them.
Alright. You guys head back to meet up with the rest of the party?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be watching for any high places as we go.
Okay. Kayeth, Anaziah, and Brahm, you go looking for a representative of the Shield Hand's forces. The Shield Hand, they're not very difficult to find, as I told you guys. Definitely in the residential row, every different alcove here, you would see ever so often one of these people coordinating with the different crown members who are in town, and different groups of adventurers and mercenaries. And you're going to be coming in at the tail end of those talks for one group. And let's see. You're going to be coming in at the tail end of the talks for one group. And a man is going to finish, or rather he's going to have a sketched out map of the town laid out over a slab of stone that they are talking around. On it, he's got different weights and different X's drawn. He finished pointing points and says, all right, and if you guys patrol this section of town tonight, that's going to give us more insight to where they're hitting it. With that, make sure you're well equipped and you've got some sleep on you. The different members of the crown are going to nod, walking away. The man is going to look up at the party as you're approaching, and he's going to say, "You're new in town? Looking for work?"
What sort of work?
We need patrols in the rows. The Cape's gonna strike again tonight. The sooner we get this under control, the sooner we can start getting merchants and farmers and fishers back into town.
What's the pay?
For the lot of you, 20 gold ahead.
No, I think that work might be a bit beneath our station. But
For a night's work?
good to know. Our abilities are a little bit more than that. So, but I'm sure you'll find some good people for it. Is there someone you can point to for some more sort of dangerous work, or needs more abilities?
Forgive the car. Let's see. He'll make a history check. He's gonna say, well, hunting the cape is our top priority right now.
How much if we bring you the head of the cape ourselves?
Well, if you can verify it's actually them, I'll roll a percentage die. Give me 1 second to... I just rolled what percentage of his money he has left. I'm gonna see... I'm coming up with a reasonable amount of how much he was given to work with. Okay, so I came up with a reasonable amount, and I rolled up a die. Don't laugh at me. He's gonna say, well, I've got about 420 gold left of what was sent with me here to get this solved. You can handle the cape. The rest of it's yours.
We'll think about it. So what's your name, good sir?
He is going to say Dohas.
It's a pleasure to meet you. And how long have you been in town for?
Let's see. How long's he been here? It's gonna say, well, we rushed to town. We rushed to town this week. When the first two shipments were off, we dropped everything and sent what attachment we could.
The first two shipments were off. Sorry, I'm not sure what you're referring to.
He's gonna nod and say, we're camping out in the area. My swords and I have been receiving supplies from this town. But I'm sure, as you can see, anywhere south of Ziwatecas without the proper supplies isn't exactly the friendliest place to live. Not a lot of food, not a lot of clean water.
I see, and so your camp stopped receiving supplies about a week ago, due to this cape fellow.
He's gonna nod and say, yes, locals have taken to calling them the Cape.
I got a question. How would we know this person when we see him? Anything that would help us to figure out who he is?
If they come after you with the reckless disregard for their life, murderous intent, pretty sure that's the Cape.
But how are we to prove that this person that does this, if we kill them and we bring them, say, their head, how are we to prove this is the person so we can get our pay?
He'll think on that for a second. He's gonna say, look, I wasn't originally deployed over here to hunt ghosts. If you kill the Cape, I think you know if you've killed the Cape. And if you're just trying to make a quick coin off of me, they're much better people to scam.
No. But you said if we could prove that we killed the cape, you would pay us the 400 gold coins. Now, my question is, how do we prove it's this person?
You said if you bring me the head of the cape.
Yeah, but
I
you
said
offered...
I would pay you. I would pay you 400 or 420 gold for it. That's for you to prove, my friend.
Yes, but you said to prove that it's the person. I'm questioning how to prove it. Like, if you don't know what the person looks like, and we bring you whatever, right?
He's going to say they've got a... Oh my gosh. Guy going by on the highway. I'm thinking about changing rooms so I don't have to deal with that when my window's
You could file a noise complaint.
Yeah. Anyways, he's going to say, look, the only signature thing between each of these kills is a billowing cape of shadows. It's dark as the night. If you bring that with whatever head you find, I'm sure you've got the cape.
Okay.
Do you have any information about when the murders happened, or how many, or that kind of thing, or any survivors who we could interrogate?
He's going to say, since we've been in town, about 75.
75 murders in a week.
He's going to nod and say they don't rest. Whenever it is they don't need it, they probably only choose to attack at night. They probably only choose to attack at night for the cover of such things. They take out about a half dozen or more people every night.
Any
Fascinating.
particular pattern or anything like that where these attacks are?
Give me 1 second. I'm going to close my window. The sweet joys of silence. He's going to say, well, they focus on the rows, the residential areas, anywhere there's large groups of people. They're quick. They attack one side of the town, then the other side of the town. And if I had my men trying to catch them the first couple nights we were here, but it was spreading too thin. I lost a couple, and if I was congregated in a section, they moved too fast before I got to the next. For the most part, the Serpent's been pretty safe.
The Serpent?
He points to the large ruined head, that stone head that's fallen in the middle of town. And he's gonna say, a group of locals were using it as a storehouse, storing supplies for the winters up there. When they left, a couple upstarts moved in and started a tavern. For the players, that's the place Azure and Wilbur were drinking at.
Yeah, I knew that. I was just...
Yeah.
My character doesn't.
Yeah.
So bar is safe.
Go ahead, have it.
Oh, that's all he was saying. The bar is safe.
Okay, yeah.
So, who do you work for? Whose coin would be taken for this work?
He's gonna say, work for? I work for myself.
And the name of your company?
He is gonna say formerly Regiment 27.
Of?
We used to work for Heimsdale, but when the Queen stopped calling for blood and let up on the Great Hunt,
I see. Now you're independent contractors.
he nods.
Well, it is it's a small sum, and I'm not sure if it's worth our while. So I'll talk it over with my companions, and maybe we'll see you in the morning with a head or not.
Okay. Kayeth, you are entitled to a free insight check. He did give you contradictory information. He did tell you somebody gave him money to come here and get this settled. You are able to tell that he is likely lying about working for himself.
Kyle will leave it.
Okay.
It's, yep, he won't push it now. I'm sorry we couldn't get you a fight, Bram. Shall we connect with the others and make a plan?
It is. Let's go meet up with the other.
Yeah.
All right. The afternoon sun starts setting. The party is able to reconvene at the docks. Everybody having a lot of information to share with people.
So what did everyone find out?
Most everybody's been driven to eating and making their beer out of mushrooms around here.
Mushroom stew.
Also, that abbey or whatever up there is filled with blockheads, and it seems kind of they really like to keep to themselves. That's all I got.
There seemed to be a religion of the Terrai. Some sort of
What?
eye symbol.
Lex will speak up and say they follow the eternal lie. Anybody is entitled to a history check on it or a religion check if they want.
Yeah. I'm superstitious. Does that count? Hey! I'm hella superstitious.
What's with these 20s? I guess I'll just read the wiki. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You guys can go to the wiki, and I will allow you to say, and I'll put this inside of the scholars. You are welcome to you can say your characters, those who rolled nat 20s, and I will say in Isaiah too, are welcome to say their characters know any information on the wiki. I will briefly summarize on a tiered system for the people watching the stream. Moving from the lowest to the highest of information, just so you know the viewers have it too. So Azure, thinking on it a little bit more, your Terrai kin on this side of the world, they do follow a religion. It is a Terrai religion. It is called the Eternal Lie. It's never been something that I think has interested you, as I don't believe you follow that religion. I actually don't have on my card what religion you follow. But yeah, I'll say you have heard of this religion before. For the most part, Terrai flock to it, and it is something that helps them feel more accepted in this world. Moving to Inaziah at a 17, you are going to know that people who worship the Eternal Lie, they are masters of duality. If ever there was a Taoism or a yin and yang to be translated into Ilderon, this is the religion that embodies it. People who worship the Eternal Eye no, I think the quote is a blinding light is just as bad as encompassing darkness. And they seek a balance of both of those forces consistently, understanding that they are composed of both good and bad things, and the bad things make them who they are just as much as the good things. Moving up to those who nat 20'd the check, Wilbert and Kayeth. For the Eternal Eye, going a step beyond that, you have all of the previous information, that these are people who accept duality into their life and seek to tame and balance this duality. Even beyond that, the Eternal Eye is weird. The leader of there is no god for the Eternal Eye. There is no concrete deity as most religions in Ilderon have. Like, if you worship the Wills, it's just like, Alilia, please bless us. The Eternal Eye is not a thing. It is not a person. It is a force greater and bigger than anybody can even understand. That said, in search of this force, there is one great truth that everybody under the Eternal Eye comes to accept, and that defines them. Let me just make sure I put the great truth on the wiki, so I'm not giving
it is.
Okay.
I've seen it.
Yes. So, the great truth that those who follow the Eternal Eye, the great truth is summarized as all things progress and all things continue. With that basic philosophy being that, like, Terrai, for instance, they're dead, their souls are destroyed, but their bodies continue on, and this is their new existence. And the same way as when you think of, like, the world is destroyed, sure, the world is destroyed, but the world continues on, and its destroyed state is the new state of the world. So, you know, like, if you say, oh, the worst thing that can ever happen to me is if I go broke and I lose my business, and it's just like, yeah, that's pretty bad, but your life continues, and the new state of your life is that you are a broke person without a business, if that makes sense. That is the great truth that they follow. All things continue.
Azur will assert that, if at all possible, he would like to figure out how to befriend or interact with these people in a closer way so that he can maybe even stay the night there. Be the best lodging around.
Well, another option is we asked around and found out that there's some kind of murderer going around town just killing scores of people. And when we approached one of the groups of mercenaries for the Shield Hand, and they actually offered us a sum of money to hunt down this killer and bring their head back. It was over 400 gold. So if we're spending the night here, that could be an option too. Try and earn some money.
Well, wait. Go ahead.
I don't know about dealing with terror. It's just bad luck. But
So apparently this.
but
You were saying, Wilbert?
say, wait, how do you know this killer ain't connected with the that monastery?
We don't?
Nyoka
Actually-
wants to know the same thing.
It's actually quite likely, considering that we've heard the killer's a Terrai.
Oh, the killer's Terrai?
It only happened in the last week or so, so it's a new occurrence, and that monastery's been around for a long time. So I don't think we can deduce that they're linked.
That's the closest link we
Did you
got.
know that a week ago the tomb was busted open? You mentioned that in the overview, I think, Brandon.
Yeah, it was relatively recent that it's been open. It's been open for about 2 weeks. These murders happened about a week ago.
Oh, well then.
Well,
it's
I mean, the
probably
murder is
hiding out in the
picked,
tomb.
the murder is picked up in the last 2 weeks, ramping up steam.
Let's find this tomb. Sounds like a fine place to sleep as well.
Do we know how far away the tomb is?
Yes, you do. It is marked on your guys' map. Let me see if I have it still marked for you. Did I mark it in Misthaven? No, maybe I didn't. I believe it is. I believe is it marked here? It's like I have it on my map, so I'll just pull up my custom map. But it's about a day south of Ziwatecas on foot.
So, yeah, if anything, it could be linked to the tomb that we're interested in investigating. So, we can. It's late in the day, so we're staying the night somewhere. The people interested in trying to capture this murderer?
Could give it a shot.
I don't know about that. I still haven't. I mean, he could just be holed up in that in the monastery.
Could be.
This murderer tends to kill about half a dozen people per night. They move quite quickly around the town. If we were going to try and ambush them or find them, then being somewhere in the rows would be a good idea.
Or maybe we can do the half dozen people they tried to kill. Make ourselves easy targets.
That would be the captain or the mercenary did mention that when he's grouped his troops together that they've haven't been attacked, and when he spread them too thin, then it's been they've fallen to pieces. So, but laying in wait somewhere in the rows would be maybe a strategy.
Do we have sending stones or anything like that we can use?
To communicate amongst us.
Well,
Well,
let me see what I can do here.
I can cast message over a distance of 100 feet or so. So if we keep within 200 feet, I can act as a central communication point.
Let me see if I can whip up an extra pair. Real quick.
on that note, Wilbur, you said you're a bit of a craftsman. You mentioned.
I've done a bit of whittling before, yeah.
Okay, well, I just asked because when we were in the market, we came across a merchant who was selling some craftsman tools. So this was smithing tools, and I know Azure was looking to have his armor worked on. Would you have the tools for that, or would that be something worth acquiring?
No, I've got what I need. I bring my tools with me, and if I don't have them, I can whip them up. It takes me about an hour.
Oh, that's perfect. Well, I saw them and I thought maybe they're a fancy set. They're made of ebony, it looked like.
That sounds nice, but not much use to me unless I have a shop I can store them in.
Well, like I said, saw them, thought it might be useful. The other thing I did notice was they had magical Thieves Tools there.
Thieves Tools, huh?
Yeah. They were imbued with some kind of transformation magic.
They were close to 500 gold, so unless someone really wants them, but hey, if we bring in this caped murderer, we could trade them for Thieves Tools if we choose. That's a good use of the funds.
Like put them against your life debt, maybe. Just throwing that out there. But
or we could invest it and look for a return.
Tell you what, if you can get a hold of some rare materials, I can make them, and then we can sell them for profit instead of buying them off other folks.
I like that strategy.
Yeah.
But what do people think? Do you want to try and hunt a murderer this evening?
Less murderers in the world, the better off. More life, more thriving.
I mean, he's killing, what'd you say, 6 people a night?
Yes.
It's not
Was it
murder.
75 people in the last week?
That's
Yeah,
a damn.
75 in a week. Though.
75 in a week?
Genocide.
Yeah, that's like
It's
10
worth-
people a day.
Yeah, it's worth noting that Ilderon weeks are 10 days long.
Okay, maybe not.
Well, I mean, 75 people over a 10-day period is still
Yeah,
bad.
I mean, yeah,
Really bad.
they're getting around.
That's just heinous.
Well, I did have an idea for potentially luring it out. If we were to split up into two groups of, say, 4 and 3, right? We split up a couple blocks apart and maybe have the ability to signal each other somehow, preferably through sending stones, and reinforce the other group fairly quickly.
Hold on, I got something for you.
Yeah.
He is going to take out. How long does it say this? It doesn't say I can. It doesn't say that I can. It says I can just do this. So I'm gonna take 2 gold coins, toss one to. I'm gonna cast a small spell, and I'm gonna throw one to. Azure, I guess one
Gotcha.
to Kayeth. It says, just take those, throw them in the air as high as you can, and it'll let out a bright flash of light.
That's
So
a good
two-
way to communicate. And that's
Two groups of 3, maybe 2 visible, 1 hidden.
Or better yet, I take that back. Does anybody have arrows or something?
I can shoot a firebolt into the air.
Somebody can go a little higher.
Brom holds up a couple of darts. He's like, I got these.
He pulls out his heavy crossbow here. I got this.
Well, instead of that, let me do it to one of your crossbow bolts, and then just fire it up in the air if you need help.
Alright.
It should work like a beacon. And I'll we don't have anybody else with like a ranged weapon. I guess you can throw a dart 30 feet up in the air, so that might work.
I could throw it. Is it dart's 60, isn't it?
I think it's 30 feet. But instead, it's just I'm just using what's it called? Magical tinkering. It's a tiny non-magical object with a magic property. And it's going to be a 5-foot radius light, which if thrown up in the air should be pretty visible. To act like a
Can I
flare.
suggest that we go and procure ourselves a house in the Rose, and we have one group outside and one group inside. That way some of us can get some rest, and we'll have some sentries around, and then we sort of have 2 groups and we figure out how to communicate with them. Maybe keep them 100 feet apart. One's the bait, the other's the reinforcements.
Actually, I like that idea better.
Well,
That way we're
I like-
closer.
I like that idea, but it sounds like but if it doesn't go after grouped enemies, then that's kind of
There'd still be 3
4
people
people will probably
outside.
be a decent size.
There'd still be 3 people outside by themselves. It would seem to be a fairly vulnerable target.
well, we could try that tonight. If it don't work, we'll try something tomorrow night.
Yeah, I can
I
throw a
suggest
dart up
if
to
we
60.
If we don't strike lucky tonight, I think we should continue with our mission rather than
Yeah.
spend another whole day in the town. But this might be a useful, side mission to get us towards where we want to get to.
I mean, I don't know how I feel about just leaving this thing to slaughter people like cattle in the night. I mean,
I'm
they're
sure
already-
the soldiers here will catch it eventually.
I agree. Also, there's a matter of my hunger. If I don't appease
Hunger?
my hunger
get some food.
or
I got
rest
rations.
or rest in the unconsecrated, there will be a problem. I will not be as effective.
What sort of food do you need?
A soul, much like mine own used to be.
What?
A soul. I am what you might term a vampire.
And where do you normally get your souls?
Generally, someone who's unredeemable. Or
Wow.
a mass murderer, but in this case, it's already a Terai, so no luck there.
You can't. The soul of the caped murderer won't work?
It's a Terai. They have no soul. Like me.
Ah.
Well, so far we've learned that it's allegedly a Terra. I don't know if we have confirmed proof that it is.
Well, from what we heard in the tavern, it was more of a... There was a Terai who came through and turned this person into one, and then they left. And they've been rampaging ever since. So, it's fairly well confirmed that they're a Terai.
Okay.
And they were created recently here.
Yes.
Who has magical weapons? Or the ability to hit something insubstantial?
I have silver.
I can make my club act as a magic weapon.
2 of you have magic weapons.
We might be able to bind them with these chains here. Perhaps.
Are they magic chains?
And
Yes, but they're not very magical. They just fix themselves.
how urgent is your hunger? Is it a must-eat tonight thing?
Well, within a few days, I may begin to have issues entering dwellings without invitation, and many other horrible afflictions, such as sensitivity to the sunlight.
Okay. Is everyone happy if we plan to set an ambush tonight and then be on our way in the morning and aim to resolve Azur's hunger as soon as we can? Does that sound like a plan?
I'm not too happy about abandoning the town if we fail.
I was thinking
Are
I
you
might
happy
go
having
back
that
to that
conversation in the morning?
I'm sorry, what?
Just before Azur, are you happy if we have that conversation in the morning? We try and capture the murderer this evening, and if chance is on our side, we find them?
I mean, my answer's going to be the same either way.
Now, I agree with you. I'd prefer to rid the town of this, but we are on a time crunch for our actual mission. We might have to come back through. We could come back through here and try and defeat it once we've accomplished our mission. But we can't just stay here until we find it.
Y'all Silver Sigil are supposed to be helping people solve problems, right?
It's part of it, yeah.
If we fail to catch the murderer this evening, let's have this conversation in the morning. Because if we succeed, then it's a moot point.
That's true.
Hopefully we find it early. I may wish to seek sanctuary in that monastery over there. It may help. I've sensed something.
As you wish. Do you wish to stay with us for the ambush, or do you wish to go to the monastery this evening?
I may go there and seek sanctuary and then come back if I succeed or not, and stay with you a while, then return.
Very well. Can I suggest that you come with us so you know where our accommodation will be this evening?
Certainly. Let's find it.
Did I give Azure one of the magic weapons?
You gave him one of the coin, I think.
No, I mean I 2 people in the party have +1 weapons.
It
+1?
was Lex, I think.
The chain whips used to be, but Brandon ruled they aren't. Oops.
No.
I think
There was a.
Nyoka got one,
No.
right?
I wouldn't have given one to Nyoka. I would have given one. I probably did give one to Azure.
Oh yeah, I guess you enchanted my sorry
Great
about
sword.
that. The great sword. I did hand that over to you for that.
And I think the other one was Lex.
Well, he's going to say, well, if you're not going to be here, you should probably leave that behind for someone else to use. He said motion to his great sword.
Lex picks it up. I'm kidding.
Like, yeah,
Kai steps forward.
Yeah, things I learned this. I learned this session. Lex has a positive in their strength score. Very rare for
that doesn't have
us.
proficiency, though.
Yeah.
I intend to be there, but missing this opportunity would be unwise.
Well, you don't know what you don't know who these people are, and if you're not able to make it out, we're going to need that magic weapon.
I would feel much better if you were with us for the ambush, Azure, and we can all help you abate your hunger. But it's your decision.
There's a few ways to do that. One can lead to madness, another could end up in one of you dying. So I don't think you want to try to help abate my hunger.
This town is full of irredeemable souls. I'm sure that we'll be able to procure one without too much challenge.
Yeah, you guys ran into a highwayman just a little bit ago. I definitely didn't murder people to get these goods.
Very
Actually,
well. You can play the dice. I'll stay here with you.
actually, we would mention that merchant to him at that point, because if he... I stepped away for a bit. I don't know what exactly that merchant said, but if he said that, I'd be like, there was that merchant that said, I did kill people to acquire these goods or anything.
No, nobody told me they rolled an insight check against him, so you guys believed every word he said, and I'm kidding. I pulled out the exact quote. It was Kyath asked, I have a question for you, and he's going to say, you're an ass, I didn't kill whoever had all of this stuff.
Well, let's go. Let's see where this house is out of the way.
Okay, you guys are looking for a house in the Rose?
Yep.
Yes.
Alright. I'm not gonna make you guys roll for it. You knock on a house. The door turns inwards. You find a ransacked area. Other people have been through to loot these places. Whoever was here probably ran out with all of their stuff. Go to another house. Refugees have packed it all up. It's empty. Go to another one. There might be a beggar in there. Go to the next one. You can see another scene where, might be some blood on the wall. This is prime location to be attacked. As the sun is setting, I will say there are members of the Crown. The Tydethel's men would be walking down this row with torches. You hear them laughing and joking in the distance. But in any case,
how many of them are in a group?
Oh, how many of them are in a group? I'm gonna say they're moving in groups of 4 at maximum. Describe to me the type of house you guys want to find, and then I'll, tell you yes or no, rather than me just going through just does this one suit your needs? Does this one? Because,
as far as I know, we're just looking for an empty one where some of us could maybe catch some sleep inside while the others...
Okay. Well, are you guys aware what pueblos are? Like the small dirt houses? Because as far as sizes go, that's what you guys would be. That's what you guys would be looking at, like a pueblo size house. Each one of these.
I was going to say preferably one that's only one story.
Okay.
That we can maybe open rafters or what have you. so that we can't have someone sneaking in up from upstairs and coming down that way.
All right.
And also, hopefully, plenty of windows or openings that we can see up from either side of the house, so that clear, so have nice overlapping arcs of gunfire.
So you're looking for one that is only one floor big, and then that overlooks the neighborhood.
One story with plenty of windows on the second level, on the first on the only floor.
Okay, cool.
If we can get one on a corner street, so it's a corner house at a crossroads.
Okay. I'm going to roll a percentage die for you guys, with the percentage being very likely. So I'm going to say 1 through 67. You're very likely to get this. Yeah, 57.
Can we make sure it has 1.5 baths?
Okay, I'm going to move it down to. I'm going to move it to 65.
We need to talk about financing too. You
guys are able to find one at the top of the top of this row. It is presumably at where the joint of like the leg or knee of like whatever this piece of the statue was that fell down turns around, or rather the road turns around and people go up the other side. There is a wooden. There's a wooden thing awning over this, and vines have grown up the side of the wood onto the stone and over the house. If you guys spend just 20 minutes taking the vines off of the wood and moving them out of the way of the windows, you have one with plenty of windows on a corner street with one floor. There is... I would say in this place, I'm going to roll a d4 for rooms. I would say there's one huge common area, a storeroom, and then a privy. Most cities in Ilderon have indoor plumbing, but this is not a city where somebody could set up sea stone aqua structures.
Can I suggest that we have 3 people as bait outside at any time, maybe on the other side of the street, and then 3 people inside resting and 1 person inside watching, and we all sleep in the common room so no one's off on their own?
Makes sense.
You should probably start a fire in both houses too, or light the hearths up.
That's not a problem.
I would think we keep the house dark so that we want this house to look abandoned.
We don't want him to look abandoned. We're trying to get his attention.
Yeah, if we're trying to
The
get
people
the
outside,
attention.
not inside.
No, if you've got 3 people across the street and you've got 3 people in here, then he's
No,
gonna
there's 3 people in the street.
Oh, yeah, they're outside on the street, across the street, basically. I don't know why we'd want them across the
Maybe
street,
they
though.
look drunk.
But
Yeah.
here's if we've got 3 people outside and everybody inside is resting, how are
No,
you?
one person's going to be keeping watch inside
Okay.
to wake everyone up if a need arises.
As you guys are talking about this, various people are going in and out, and you guys are making your plan for the evening. Give me 1 second to do shenanigans. Evens, odds. All right. Wow. Okay. All right. So, as you guys are surveying the house, you are talking about things, you're inspecting it. Brahm, Nyoka, and Lex are inside of the house in the doorway talking to Kayeth, who's in the doorway, and Isaiah, who's on the street, Wilbert, who's on the street, and Azure on the street. The conversation, because I do want to give you guys space to come back to it, is on the doorway and who should be inside and how many should be outside. There is a scream of horror from down the street. Anybody out on the street can turn and look and see the torches are on the ground near those patrolmen. They have dropped their torches. One has a crossbow in their hand. Another one has a short bow in their hand. They are aiming at the ceiling or the roof of or not the roof, on top of this stone slab of the row. You see very briefly in the corner of your eye a figure. Their cloak is moving about them almost as a flame. However, the flames are ebony in nature. They are completely black. The person looks back very briefly before running over the rest of this marbled structure and out of vision, presumably sliding off or jumping out of it. The two men that are left of the patrol fire their weapons in the direction. They pick up their torches, and you can see one person is decapitated on the street. The other one is pressed into the wall. They are slumped against it, and they are bloody and dead.
Reach. How far away was this?
From you guys, let's see. I'll roll a die, and I'll times it by a d4. About 120 feet away, maybe 115 feet away.
How long was he there? Like, how long did we see the...
How long did the person come in? They swooped in. You heard the shout. You looked. You saw this person on top of, like... So, you heard... You guys are talking. You heard a shout. You turn and look. You see the scene I described. You see a figure on top of the fallen chunk of marble, and they move to the... They are on top of it, and presumably, if you were to think of this as like a building or anything round, if they were to slide to the other side, they're out of your vision. If they leap to another building, they're out of your vision. So you just see the faintest... you see the faintest sight of them, and they move. All of this probably happened in maybe 6 seconds.
Well...
And I was inside, you said?
Yes, I rolled evens or odds of who was inside and who was outside at the time as you guys were talking. At the time, Brahm, Nyoka, and Lex were inside. Azure, Wilbert, and Anaziah and Kayeth were outside.
He's already moving around tonight.
I'm sorry, I forgot the figure you said for how far away that happened.
115 feet.
150.
Yeah, at max was 120. I rolled a D100 and then I times it by a D4. I wasn't going to do the exact math.
Kayeth gulps. So I'm guessing hit and run tactics is what we're up against?
Yep.
It seems that way.
Maybe the tougher people can be outside, who might be able to live through an attack.
Yeah.
They're not going to attack at this point, or he's
they're going to be around here.
Well, he's already seen us at a distance, at least.
That's what I mean. He knows that there's more than 3 of us.
Especially at this spot, so... Maybe we should hide watching other groups of people?
That's an option, or we could try and track it down.
We better be fast if we're gonna do that.
Yeah, we'd need to be ready to go at a moment's notice.
Tell you what, Azure, and Prom. Come with me.
All right.
Rest of y'all keep a lookout here.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you approaching the patrolmen who are down?
Yeah, last spotted.
Okay.
Spotted him.
He was up on the marble.
That's what I meant. That area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Walking over to those guards. One's going to have his hand on his on the dead man's chest who's slumped against the wall, and he's going to be saying, "Shit! He just, God, it came in like a
I'm down.
Brandon, before
the
we
other
continue,
one is he's got
just
his
wanna say-
crossbow reloaded, and he's pointing to each of the ceilings as he is on as he is looking out for this person to come back. What's up?
That's my active perception because I'm actively looking around to see
Okay.
where it is.
Of if this if the cape is coming back here, yeah. You don't currently notice them.
Yeah, I don't currently notice it, but I'm keeping an eye out for it. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Azur's gonna load his heavy crossbow. Have it ready.
Brom's gonna try and shimmy up to where he thinks they were, because he was inside, so he doesn't know where they came out.
Azur will help direct him.
Okay.
Okay.
I've got
Um.
my flip-flop in hand.
Oh. There is one last thing that I think we will do for tonight. Wilbert, what an interesting character you are.
Yeah, that's nice of you to say.
And Isaiah, what an interesting character you are too. Let's see. Just give me 1 second to look through everybody's sheet. So, Brom, let me split this properly. And Isaiah, Brom,
Okay.
and Wilbert went to inspect the dead bodies.
No, I'm-
Azur.
Oh, okay. Azure.
Azure's gone. I'm still standing out in the street by where we were,
Okay.
just keeping an eye out.
You don't get closer. Okay, so Brom, Wilbert, and Azure. So let me pull up Brom. Oh, the
Azur would basically change his mind and pull his sword out
okay,
if possible.
that's fine. Okay, and Azure is the last one I need to check. Okay, so Wilbert, Brom, and Azure, as you go over to this person, only two of these men are alive. One is the other is decapitated. The other man is slumped against the wall. He has got a huge gash in his chest as a large force likely knocked him back into this wall and thrusted through his chest. His body is motionless. His hands are not moving. None of his limbs are twitching in that way that a sputtering dead person would twitch. His chest is not moving. His eyes are wide open, looking forward, lifelessly, and he is whispering. His friend who is holding his wounds, and his friend's holding his wounds, who is cursing, saying, shit, 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 shit. The man who is slumped against the wall is whispering something over and over again. He's gonna say, just hang on. We'll find somebody, okay? Wilbert, nobody next to this man understands what he is saying. You have the closest idea, as you speak deep speech, This is not
Yes.
deep speech, but this, if you were to say that like English comes from dramatic, or like German, and you can hear like the syllables and stuff, you can trace the root language of this. It
Okay.
is something related to deep speech. You do not speak it. Whatever this man is saying, his corpse is whispering it over and over again as he is slowly getting quieter.
Can I memorize what he's actually saying, or like the verbiage, the untranslated phrase? I
Yeah,
guess.
give me an intelligence check if you can remember the syllables.
I'm not
And it'll be
bad
like
at that.
Nagschken Glaschken, and then like a German person was like, "Oh, that means steak on a stick."
12.
12. Okay, you do your best.
Okay.
Again, around you, nobody understands this. If you can give me an action if you want, but he whispers this probably for about 30 seconds before his lips keep moving and the sound coming from them fades. His friend's gonna slap his face a couple times. Say, no, stay with me. His lips slowly.
So let
slow
me.
down.
He's dead though?
You can make a medicine check.
Okay. Excuse me. Why not? Nah,
I mean,
dead.
it's not very hard to tell. He's very dead. He is very, very, very dead. I made you roll just for the sake of it, but he's very dead.
I mean, he's impaled through the torso, right?
Yeah, whatever impaled him is not here. No. You can tell he's got like a huge gash in his chest where, like, his heart and lungs would be.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, it would probably. It's worth like. I wouldn't say Wilbert's a medical man at all, but even with that 4 on a medicine check, you can turn to Azure and say, "Can you make sound without your lungs?"
Right, I got you. Okay, so nothing on these. There's probably too many people here. He's gonna go to the guards and be like, "Rest of our." He's gonna say it quietly in the dude's ear. So we've got more men down the street. Try to make your way over there
Okay.
before he comes back.
The guy.
I'm gonna climb up to the thing and see if he can see it. Where the guy was.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Do you have dark vision?
I do because I have goggles of night.
Okay. What's the dark vision on those? 90 feet? Go ahead and make me a perception check.
I think it's 60 feet.
Yeah,
I think it's
only 60.
standard.
Okay.
Yeah. I will make a perception check with a +7.
Wilbert, that counts as a +1 weapon, right?
+1 magic weapon.
Got it.
I don't know why it did it twice.
It's fine. I'll take the 25.
So will I.
Okay. So, you don't have you don't have vision on this figure of whoever they. You don't have clear vision. I guess that's worth stating. They are outside of your
my dark vision.
Yeah, they're outside of your dark vision. For further than you can make out, but just very briefly, like you see a figure jumping back on top of these rows onto another outside of your dark vision. Somebody, because this town, parts of the town are terrace. Like there are higher sections of the town. Some of this rubble did fall on itself.
Okay.
You see a figure jumping to another level of this town, and then you will be able to see the outline of somebody else falling, like probably a body just like limply moving. whatever this person is or whoever they are, you don't clearly make them out with your perception check because they're outside of your dark vision, but because you rolled so well, I'm going to say you're able to estimate their speed at which they're moving. This person is easily moving 90 feet around.
Fuck, so I can't catch up. Well, I could, but I'd be the only one, and it'd be not good for me. And
go ahead.
What? Oh, I was just. What direction are they in?
Let's see. If you guys, so I don't have a map of this town drawn. Next session I can draw a map out in depth. But I'm kind of ruling you guys, if you guys see this right here, you're kind of in between this area as kind of where I'm visualizing you guys down here in between the rows. I would say that they are on the, what is that? Western side of the town, going up into like more of this terrace section. And I can get a map drawn out in depth if need be. But that's kind of westward would be like the best description for you.
Okay. So I yell that down to everybody, say got at least one more.
Okay, and the other thing that I did need to state, in response to Wilbur, when you mentioned that to these two remaining men, the one who's holding the wounds on his friend is going to nod. It's worth mentioning the friend is still moving his lips very, very slowly, and his eyes are looking forward. You're able to tell there's no other signs of life in this corpse, but for some reason this guy's mouth is still moving. He's going to begin dragging his friend along. The other one with the crossbow kind of, looking back, guarding their retreat, just pointing in each direction.
Before that one dude that's injured leaves, I'm going to say, wait just a second. And I'm going to...
I don't think anyone else was injured.
There was one dude that was injured, wasn't there?
No.
One guy got impaled and another guy lost his noggin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the guy who was impaled, he is being dragged by the guy who
for some reason keeps talking.
Yeah.
You might want to leave him.
He's gonna say he's hanging in there.
He's dead.
No, he's speaking.
He's dead, man. Leave him alone, or you'll die too.
His lips continuously move. He's gonna say, "I don't understand."
Did he ever speak deep speech when he was alive?
What? Rickton? No.
Then he's dead.
Can Azur roll something now that he's noticed this?
Yeah, you can. What are you rolling?
I guess just if I've experienced something like this or heard of it happening.
Go for it.
What would that be? Like a history check or?
Yeah. History would be if you've experienced events similar to this. Yeah, trying to think on things like this. If a Terrai killed him, most of the time with most Terrai, it's not an effect that's instantaneous. A lot of the times the person dies and then the body gets back up. Vampires rising at the turn of midnight. Zombies, being converted, their flesh slowly boiling over, ghosts being expelled from the corpse that they're in, gorgers being somewhere similar to, or gorgers and ghouls being somewhere similar to zombies. This is not anything that Azure has witnessed before.
So he might surmise it might be something like something's churning, but he doesn't know. Huh. Okay. well, if he doesn't know, well, he'll say, I don't know if that's going to become something sentient, but we might want to burn it.
We probably don't have time for that.
Burn it.
Oh, yeah. At that, the man's just gonna say, "God damn shit." He's going to take out a flask, pour it over him. And say, I'm sorry, Rickton. In the name of the Four, and so yes, it's cleansing fire. Please find justice in the next life. He drops the torch on it after pouring the alcohol. The man's corpse lights on the flame. He's gonna grab the guy with the crossbow and say, "Come on, let's go." They run to the safe house. Kaya. Well, Inaziah's going to see this first. Inaziah, Nyoka, Lex, and Kaya. 2 thugs of the crown running inside of your guys' house. Slamming the door behind them. They run in there with you, by the way. They don't, slam the door and it's like, sucks to be you guys outside.
Later, nerds.
Are you guys comfortable with ending there, or did you want to go for 5 or more minutes so you can discuss
I just
stuff?
have one question. Was I able to make out any of what the other person the last person that I saw killed, or the person that was falling? Can I see what they were wearing?
Can you see what?
Could I have seen?
I'm gonna roll because dark vision works. You see it in shades of gray.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that it was too far for you to make out anything of note. But for the most part, I mean, it might have just been another one of these patrolmen.
Okay, see, that's what I was wondering. If it was another one of the patrolmen, are they the ones that has been killed, or has it been normal people? Did we ever find that out?
Well, people were fleeing before they were here in force, so presumably the killing's indiscriminate.
Okay.
Presumably. That said, did you guys want to talk for 5 minutes and share what you learned with each other, reconvening, or do you want to end here?
I'd go for a while longer.
I'm good. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah. So these crown thugs are going to run into the house, shut the door. A few minutes or moments later, Brom Wilbert, as you're returning, one of them, his hands covered in blood. The other man has a crossbow in his hands, and it's still shaking as he's holding it. It's loaded, and obviously there's no one in here. Ever so often, he's gonna go to the window, crossbow out the window, and he's just gonna yell, "Shit! Can't we cover these windows? Damn it!" The other man's got his hands in his hair, and it's it happened so fast. It was 1 second they were there, and the next second they were just dead.
How fast are they, I'm gonna ask?
Brom has that information. This guy does not.
I give you guys. I tell everybody that it was an estimated 90-ish feet.
Well, okay.
Kaith will summon Gimple and send them up to sort of 50 feet in the air and just aerial surveillance.
Okay, is Gimple your familiar?
Yeah, the owl.
Okay, it's an owl. Cool. I'm pretty sure owls can see well in the night.
If anything, it's an advantage on perception.
Yeah. You guys can keep talking. Are you perceiving through your familiar senses?
Yep, and Kaith will telepathically talk to Nyoka. I'm just saying, just look after me. I'm gonna go and look through the owl.
Brandon?
Yes.
I am going to use my prayer for a first level spell.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast Longstrider on myself.
Alright. Do you not want to wait to cast that? I believe that only lasts for 10 minutes.
1 hour.
Okay.
I will, you know what? Yeah, I'll wait. But I definitely want to use it for Longstrider.
Okay, I'll make a note of it on my card, and I'll try and remind you at the start of next session.
Yeah, I'm putting it down in the thing, in the spell description, because
Okay.
I have it in the description. I'm just gonna put used for Longstrider.
All right. And you guys, by the way, can continue talking. The soldiers provide no more useful, or rather, the thugs provide no more useful information, other than they might swear, and ever so often their anxiety, they panic, go to the windows, aim their weapons out of the windows, nothing's there. Shift to the next window, panic about covering the windows, look for furniture to throw in front of the windows, etc.
Don't cover our windows.
And open the door again. Damn it!
We're trying to work here.
So, it's fast, and we've got to catch up to it.
Yeah,
Got
I
eyes
say
in-
it's
eyes
about
in the sky,
twice
so-
as fast as I can normally run.
Does anyone else
So-
have the ability to restrain it possible?
Just before Kite
It
jumps
depends on
into
what
the
it
owl site, he'll just telepathically talk to Azura and say, "You should get to know those crown folks. I bet one of them's an irredeemable soul." And then he's off.
Well, that complicates things.
Yeah.
It probably
So-
means that it's just going to strike one of us and disappear into the night again until we're all dead.
Well, especially if we're moving at different speeds.
Yeah. I there's a chance I can restrain it for a time. But I don't have many spells designed for that right now.
Well,
There's a chance I can get it as well. I can restrain it as well if I can catch it.
Well,
But
It's
I've
no
got to
good.
catch it in one round.
It's
I
no
gotta
good.
catch it in 6 seconds.
it's no good you taking it all by yourself. That's against the whole point.
Well, if I can get to it, I can stun it and restrain it, and then you guys can catch up. If I can hold on to it for 2 seconds, then or 6 seconds until you guys catch up, maybe 12 seconds, then we can fight it together.
Possibly.
I would have to get within 60 feet of it to try restraining it.
Well, if it moves at twice my normal speed, I should be able to catch it in one turn. 'Cause I can, especially if I use Longstrider, that'll give me 150 feet in one turn. And then if I can hit it, I can hit it with Stunning Strike and hopefully stun it.
Well, what's our second plan if that doesn't work?
I mean, even just catching it the first time is going to be difficult if it doesn't double back. The only time we would gain is if it stops to kill people, and that seems to be kind of a fluid motion for it.
Yeah, because it got 2 people in, and I look at the other two guys, and I'm like, it got them both in what? One motion?
Something like that.
Yeah, the guys who are busy looking out a window now are going to look back and say, "Yeah, I barely even saw it come down."
Yeah, it's moving really fast.
Well,
Well, and that cloak probably makes it hard to perceive it and its movement, so...
Quite possible. How? You said the guy was falling. Did it look like he was falling off like a balcony or like?
Yeah, it killed somebody in the on the terrace.
Okay.
if you guys are going to have a discussion of mechanics, I will allow you to have that at the end of tonight. I'm going to jump over to JV for the owl. If that's fair. Okay. So, JV, I did see that stealth check that you made. What is your owl's passive perception? Or if you want to make an active perception check, you can.
I'll do active, which get advantage.
Okay. I'm going to take that 20 then. And as Gimple is... as Gimple is flying over the... as Gimple's flying over the town, he is going to see this thing in very brief moments. There are moments where this thing strikes and it doesn't kill anybody, and then it's gone. Some people, getting out of the way and defending themselves as it descends on them. You're able to track this, and the groups you see moving around town have torches out as kind of beacons against the night, and you're able to kind of see where each of these... You can't really track this thing well because it's moving so fast and it's so dark, but you're able to see where the torches are being disturbed and where to look next, if that makes sense. And as soon as you kind of understand how this thing's moving, at points you see it's running, and then at other points you see a blur of it is actively flying, which is really strange because it didn't... No, Kayeth didn't see it because... Well, Kayeth did see it because he was in the outside group. No, Kayeth didn't see it originally, so the moments where you're able to see it attacking people, it doesn't look like it has any way to fly. However, there are moments when you clearly see it like running, dashing, darting, jumping. And then just other moments where you see this blur of it flying through the sky. There is no pattern, there is no rhyme, there is no reason to its attacks. It is hopping all over the city. Or all over, not city, all over the town. And again, every time it descends on somebody, it's not resulting in a kill. However,
is it melee or is it ranged?
From what you are seeing, hold on, let's... Actually, Dungeon Master loading, let me look at its attacks. I know it has a melee attack off of the top of my head, but it is melee.
So yeah, Kayeth will jump out of the owl long enough to communicate this with everyone, and then he'll go back to the owl and try and track it, and then basically let everyone know if it comes anywhere near where they are.
Alright. Roll me an investigation check. No, I'm sorry. A survival check. And I'll let you re-roll it. Give me a survival check. You said track. And that's beautiful. And this is with Gimple's tracking, correct? Because an owl would have +1 to that survival. Alright, so trying to track this thing, Gimple is not going to be able to. It is dotting here, it's dotting there. The second Gimple descends on it, it turns, weaves sprints around a corner, and it is out of there. In 3.5, there were 3 different types of flying, which was good. Or the flying was normal fly speed, good fly speed, or good flight, normal flight, and bad flight. So bad flight was like gliding. If you were to think of something as gliding, it kind of like descends, it can't turn or do much. Normal flight is like a bird. It's got wings and it can make quick adjustments. Good flight is like Superman. It can fly forward 100 feet per second, stop instantly before it hits a building, shoot straight up in the air. It's got flight like that. Like, Gimple is trying its best to track this thing, but the way it is moving about, it's very hard for Gimple's form of movement to keep up with this.
Yeah, Kaith will bring Gimple back and let everyone know.
So I'd still be outside, actively looking for it, trying to see if it comes out. And I don't know if you'll allow me to have the spell Hold Person ready for if I happen to catch it as it's ascending.
What's the range on it?
60 feet.
60 feet.
So,
I'll
like,
roll you
if
a
I-
percentage die if it comes in range of you.
I would also like to have that ready, honestly.
Yeah, like, I was thinking, like, if it came down
outside,
to
too.
attack...
If anybody's out there, Brown's gonna be out there trying to protect him.
I'm going to give you guys free information, and just give it to you as players. So the way a readied spell works in 5th edition, you cast the spell, and you basically hold it in your hand, and you just hold your hand closed, and you move it to your reaction of you let go and cast the spell, or the spell goes off on the condition that you trigger. Whether the condition happens or not, the spell is cast. If anything comes and hits you, for all effective purposes, you are concentrating on that spell and you lose the casting of it. For Hold Person specifically, I'm fairly certain the end of that text says that it does not target undead creatures. You guys have reason to believe that this is some sort of undead creature. With that, I don't want you guys burning a combat burning a spell, because I do have combat planned for you guys, but if you want to take that action as actions your characters would do, I will allow you to do that.
It states humanoid. It doesn't state anything about undead.
Yeah.
Yeah, undead and humanoid are 2 separate classes of creatures.
Oh.
A zombie
okay.
is an undead, even though it looks, it comes from a humanoid corpse.
Gotcha. Alright, good info. Yeah, I won't be holding that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need Hold Monster for undead.
Right.
If we're going to have one person outside as Braid, I suggest everyone with a ranged weapon is covering them, and you'll get a very short window of opportunity to take this thing down, unless we can find a way to restrain it.
Okay.
I can set up some alarm spells in logical places it might scout from, which might give us an additional heads up if it's coming.
If anyone's
that
feeling
might-
very, capable with these chains, they can borrow them. Try to wrap them up.
JV, so real quick, from my understanding, Gimple is still out there trying to track this thing. You just stopped perceiving through its senses, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
and to communicate with the thing, yeah.
Let me read Find Familiar real quick.
I think it doesn't give you a huge range on connecting with it.
Yeah, that's going to be very important real quick.
think it's only
because
100
I rolled another survival check for it, trying again, and it nat 20'd. Okay. You can, guys can continue talking, sorry.
So Brom just grabs a torch, lights it, says, "Who's hanging out with me?"
I'm already out there.
Azure will. We should all be back to back, basically.
I don't think it's gonna try to attack. Look like we're actively looking for it.
Well then,
I'd
pick one or
suggest two
two.
people with the torch. Who doesn't have ranged attacks?
I don't think there'll be time for ranged attacks.
Yeah,
Let
I don't-
alone
There will
magic.
If we're covering it
Yeah.
and we're actively looking, then people should be able to get some shots off.
Well, if they're not magical or a spell, I don't know if it's worthwhile.
I got you.
Someone's
My
welcome to
attacks
borrow my
are-
heavy crossbow if they want. I think I should have my sword out.
my attacks aren't magical until I get a little bit more time to pray and center myself.
Not all Terrai are immune to magic, so or require any magic. So, but is it Brahm and Azure at the bait? Everyone else in hiding, trying to hit it if we see it.
Sounds fine.
Somebody
As
keep
I
an eye on
know
those
that too.
Somebody keep an eye on the windows in case they're trying to sneak in the house.
Well, first
Apart from
know
them towards the
the
grand
state of
folks.
them. Are they shut? Are they broken? Are they closed? Are they locked? Etc.
Oh, the windows?
Yeah.
I describe these as pueblos. These are stone structures carved into this ruin. There are no windows. They're openings where you guys look out into the street. Like, there's no glass or anything here. It's just a cut through the stone where you can see into the street. Originally, it was covered by vines, but you guys removed the vines. The soldiers, or rather the two thugs, keep going to alternating through the windows in this room, just pointing their short bow and crossbow out of it.
What are the dimensions of these slits or windows?
Let's see, 3 feet by, let's go 3 feet tall by 2.5 feet wide, 2 feet wide.
Window sized.
Yeah.
Well, maybe our two friends back there can keep an eye on the windows.
Depending how many there are.
Yeah. Oh, alright. We are about to end here. Kaya, you are going to feel your owl. It comes back within 100 feet of you. Well, hey, it doesn't care about doors. It flies in through a window. Gimple begins trying to warn you of something. I'm not sure what type of actions you have that can communicate with it. However, it is very
communicate
apparent.
telepathically.
Say it again.
Can you communicate telepathically with a familiar? I can't remember.
You can use your action to communicate to it, of give it orders. I don't know. Let me look, because it knows whatever languages it knows, and I don't think owls speak anything.
What's the thing say?
Yeah, let's see.
Giant owl.
It's just an owl.
Nice, baby.
So
It says you can communicate with it telepathically. When it's
okay,
within
you
100
can
feet.
communicate with it telepathically. It's got an intelligence of 2. Keep that in mind it is going to say to you over and over again, corpse jumper, corpse jumper, corpse jumper.
I think it's coming. Or I think it's close.
Do
I'd say,
let us, those of us who are outside, know?
yep, so, yeah, and then Kite will cast a message to the 2 people who are bait and say, it's coming, be ready.
Alright, let's end right there for the night. You guys went to investigate the monastery? Oh, it is a monastery, or rather, there are people there in that abbey who worship the eternal song. Or not the eternal song, the eternal lie. You guys got a name of the murderer in town. People have been calling it the Cape. It is a strange, vengeful spirit that has been wreaking havoc. You guys saw the Cape, and you actually saw the Cape a lot more than I was expecting you to, so that's good. What else major happened tonight? I think that's about it. Wilbur, I'm going to give information on stream now because I'm gonna forget it later. If you repeat that phrase to anybody in your party, the deep speech in Ilderon shares a root language with primordial, and Isaiah would be the only person who recognizes it. So I'm going to put on my notes in Isaiah deep speech whisper, and we can start with that. Well, not deep speech, primordial whisper. And we can start with that next session. Because I will forget.
Also, JV, you may want to mention to us in your message that the way that it moved, like that it was actually like flying in the sky very well and things like that.
Well, he told us all of that.
With the party before that. So
You already explained that to us?
Yeah, he explained that to us before we
Okay.
went outside.
Okay, cool.
Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna say those 3 ticks of experience. What are you guys, level 5?
Brom was asking about magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're level 5.
Oh, Brom was asked. Yeah, I'm gonna give minor experience for moving Brom's personal story forward. And I'll give minor experience because as you're eating and revealing to the party he is truly undead, is minor experience, or rather relevant too. So
Finally found something desecrated too.
yeah, let's see. 3 ticks of major experience, 2 ticks of minor experience. I have you guys at an experience threshold of 400 for events. So 1,200 plus 400 is 1,600 for tonight. And
And I don't think this would be anything, but you mentioned the guard was lying to us.
oh yeah, but it was already confirmed
Yeah.
that the shield hand has presence. in
But
this town.
we do know that they're trying to keep it secret that they're working for the shield.
Okay, I'll throw in minor experience for that. 1,800
Yes.
for that.
And we basically got hired for that, killing this thing.
So how?
Yeah, but
how much
quests are its
experience
own
do we have
reward.
now?
For in total tonight, 1,800. If you added the 1,600, just add 200 more onto it.
Yeah, I don't remember what my total is. I already.
9864.
That's what I put.
Fantastic.
All right, and yeah, we can start next session either with a hunt or probably straight into combat. And your guys' next session is going to be on the 11th of July. That's great. That's literally right before I start traveling. That works out fantastically for me. If we need to reschedule or anything, just let me know. Everybody who was watching tonight, thank you so much for watching. Everybody who watches us in the future, thank you so much for watching. Also, shout out to all of the sounds and stuff I use for this.